Hey, welcome back to Matchball Grid. My name is Andre. Thanks so much for tuning in. It's a Sunday. Isn't that novel? How's everyone doing? It is the 26th, if I'm not mistaken, of September. That's the hard part. Yo, wishy-washy pony. How's it going? Good morning. It is like 11 in the morning. We couldn't stream this Thursday evening, so we're going to make a catch-up stream today. So we're going to be streaming for a couple hours this afternoon, technically this morning into the afternoon. I'll be honest, I don't have a strong idea what we're going to do today. I think we're just going to kind of play some whatever we find on Netrunner DB. If y'all have deck lists you want me to try out or you want to test and tune, let me know because I'll play them probably. Very likely I will. Yeah, it's I don't have like a strong itinerary what to do in Netrunner right now. It's like the tournament season, competitive season's over. Our ban list has been the same for a bit now, our standard balance list, excuse me. So I'm looking for something to mix it up. So we'll see what we do. Yo, Pink, how's it going? How's your Sunday been? Or Bing, how's your Sunday? It's also a really weird thing to like, we have a street cleaning truck. It's a weird day sometimes to stream because the deck list of the week I think changes on Sunday. This used to actually be Chenchling's nope, this one. This was a tag me list that was up for a while as a deck list of the last week technically. And we didn't play because we didn't stream on Thursday. So I want to give this one a shot because this one's actually quite fun. We played against it. I think Eric was playing this against us on stream a while ago. So it was nice. I think it has some good, strong tips, tricks. I know this is kind of tuned also to deal with the HB competitive meta. Being a bit more aggressive with like strong multi-axis might help you in that matchup. I'm not entirely convinced, but it did do okay in the continental seasons. Pink says, fine, not caught you for a while. That said, I've not played for a while either. Well, hey, welcome to it. Yo, talking about not playing for a while, this is actually really cool. So Pat went ahead, and there's a local store here in Montreal called the Silver Goblin. I'm a huge fan of them. It's a place I've been going to play Flesh and Blood. And in terms of, like, I've been to a lot of game stores over the years, playing organized events or just, like, casual play. And this one's kind of my favorite. It's just a huge space, not a lot of like upfront store, but a lot of big tables and a lot of like, just like a large space with really nice tables and chairs. And they do a really good job making sure they're following all the guidelines that you need to be modernly. And there's like disinfectant everywhere. It just feels like a nice place. But Pat reached out to them and here, how do I open my calendar without, yeah, that's fine. Oh, you're not gonna be able to see my calendar. Okay, we'll just do a calendar here. Calendar, that's good enough, right? Yo, Copper's Gay, how's it going? Also, Skipon, how you doing? Cassis Factus, welcome. How's your Sunday been so far? I just want to go to a calendar. I don't want to open a Google Calendar. I just want to go to a calendar. Can nobody just show me what a calendar looks like? A calendar, fine. You win. October 2021. So on the 16th, which is 3 Sundays from now. So not this weekend and not the following weekend. That's Thanksgiving here in Canada. But on the 16th, I don't have the exact times, but I think from noon to 6 when they're open, there'll be Netrunner players coming to Silver Goblin, which is sick because I really haven't played like, it won't be like a tournament. It's not like an event. It's just kind of like casual play. I'll be bringing teaching decks. So if you want to learn the game, come there. I think we're playing only in startup format, so not standard. So startup is, do we have a button for this still? I think we do. Yeah, startup is basically a system gateway, it's a system update, and then the whole Ashes cycle. So basically all the Nisei stuff. So if you want to jump in, 16th at Silver Goblin, let me tell you, the place is fantastic. The owner there is wonderful. Pat's been organizing this, so huge shout out to Pat. So I think that's the first in-person play, like officially in Montreal, that's going to happen. Did I say Sunday? Shit. I meant Saturday. Saturday the 16th. It's Saturday the 16th. I think I've been saying Sunday. Yo, name. I think you're right. Good save. Recap My Five Artists is sending me the draft of this upcoming Wednesday, and I'll be able to send you a picture of it. Oh, heck yeah. All right. Loving the Euro-friendly stream time today. Yo, Bahram, how's it going? I'm glad to be able to stream at this time again. We couldn't stream on Thursday. I don't really know what we're doing this stream. I'm just going to play some of the deck lists of the week, or like deck lists on Netrunner DB. If you have like deck lists you want to throw my way, I'll definitely give them a spin. There's still a bunch of people playing Sundays, so it's I don't think the lobbies are going to be too barren. I don't know if that's an actual concern we have to be worried about. I've been making 6 copies, 1 in copper and the rest in 6010 aluminum. In copper, whoa! That's awesome. Copper's Case sent me the proof. I still have to share it, honestly, of when the ID can cut out of metal, which is awesome. Andre, I love your glasses. Thank you. They really suit you. Oh, cheers. These are the sort of glasses that you order online that you don't try on. You try on virtually. So we kind of went for a gamble here, and I think it worked out. Thank you. Do you have a list of the teaching decks? Ooh, that's a good question. Do you mean like the official Nisei ones, or like ones that I have put together at some point? I honestly don't know if I still have teaching decks. I think I did do decks. I think I do. And I think we link them in a comment section on another YouTube video. So I'd have to dig them up. If I'm not mistaken, they're here. So these are the ones that I put together. Maybe we should revisit them and see, like, maybe we'll look at this before the 16th to talk about them. But like, we did one for each faction, and I think honestly they're pretty good from my recollection. These are only startup, mind you. These aren't gateway. This is just startup. Excuse me. Wow, that's wrong. I mean, this is just gateway. This is just like the new player experience box. This is not the whole startup format. So I don't think I have startup decks for every ID. At least I did not do that, but I do have gateway decks for every ID. So we have Anarch, and these are linked in a YouTube comment. I'll try and dredge them up, but I have the link somewhere. So we have Shaper, Jinteki, Criminal, and Gateway. And we should have the other ones. Yeah, here we go. Wayland and HB. So we do have that. Apparently I'm using 14 influence in just about all of them, so that's fantastic. And these decks are actually quite fun. And I think they give you, like, they push you towards the direction they want to do. When it comes to startup, I don't have anything specifically. We did play a whole bunch of startup, but what you can do is if you go to Netrunner DB and you go to search and you go to set allowed packs and you just hit startup and you hit search here, this might be a really easy way to find something that works for you. I think, yeah, it is loading, but this just takes a second. Yo, Linkping, how's it going? Catching you live for once. You just stream more at friendly times. Yo, I hear you. It's just kind of difficult. Like, most of my time I can't stream are, weekday afternoons. I love to do more stuff on weekends, and this weekend actually has been quite busy. So I'm actually happy that we could do this like we said we would. But I hear you, and I think that is something that's definitely worth doing. Now I can't see anything. So I thought I'd be able to read chat, but no. Now we're just going to hang out for a bit. Hold on. But yeah, the tab to figure out set allowed packs is up here. It's something I actually didn't realize for a long time. But if you hit this and go to startup, you'll be able to see startup decks, which is really good place to start. Oh, Shan, how's it going? Welcome. I bought my eyeglasses and bought a cheap frame via the place I go to, and they have transition lenses. But then I got a pair of custom smart glasses and put the frames on those. I got Bluetooth, Google Voice, hands-free, and the camera. Damn. I've seen people do that, like YouTube videos of people making like really smart, tech-based stuff where they just kind of put it into existing frames. That's awesome. I'm running into a problem where, because I work in video, generally when they sell you frames, they're like, hey, for like very little more money, we'll be able to give you this like blue tinted thing. I think they're technically orange tinted that will block blue light, and then it'll make, viewing this easy, and then you have less lens glare when you're driving at night and stuff like that. But because I work in video where color is, you need it to be accurate, I can't have that stuff. So I'm basically always getting like the cheapest lenses they have, and I don't know what I'm missing out on. I don't really think I have eye fatigue, but I don't know. Yo, Rosenheim, how's it going? Hello, hey. How's your Sunday? Anyways, if you want to get a startup, this is a good place. Maybe you'll find names of some people that you like that put decks together. So Loathing has been like really killing it with startup decks. Their decks have been getting deck lists of the week for the last couple months, which is really great. They're generally, not only are they good decks, but what I very value, specifically also if you're a newer player, is that the write-ups for Loathing Rights is like incredibly in detail, which is fantastic. Because it's one thing to see the deck list, the second thing to see how they intend you to play it, which is assumedly the best way to play it. Maybe not always, I don't know. But there's a lot of good stuff here. Diogen always puts out a lot of decks as well. Crit is also good. I think Crit did publish a whole bunch of startup decks. This is Gregory Tung, who used to be one of the lead designers on Nisei. Close to, definitely good stuff. So do check that up if you want to hit it up. There's a lot of options here. Oh, this one actually I was looking at. This one was published recently, and there were, yeah, no, I actually want to play this on the 16th. I like the changes that were posted here. Sadly, it only has about a 6 hours of life, which is good due to features. I try to find a company to have a clip-on blue light for your frames might work. I don't know. Well, the thing is, like, if I want to work on a computer and I'm worried about the light thing, like, I'd rather just modify the computer than modify my glasses, right? Like, you just open up Flux or whatever. I just haven't done that in a long time. Cool glasses. Thanks, Janktivist. How's it going? How's your Sunday? So this is the deck list of the week. We're not going to play it, if at all, but we're not going to start by playing it. We're going to start by playing this one. Sorry, wow, this one. Because this is the deck list of last week, which technically rotated on Sunday, so we missed this one out. This is Chinchling's deck. I feel like we played it. We definitely played against it. I don't know if we played this. I don't think we actually played this one. And it's a Tag Me Zahya deck. Again, Zahya is interesting. Her ability is, so we saw it, Continentals hadn't proven to be too relevant. There's a really cool combination here where Zahya says the first time, or whenever you make a run, excuse me, your choice, when you do this during your turn, you gain a credit for every time you access a card. And the idea is that you play a Tag Me deck, so you have a lot of ways to tag yourself, and credit kiting on its own is just like a really good card. The fact that you can install things that cost 8 is huge, but sometimes you even install something that costs 4 and you're happy enough with it. So you go Tag Me, you have Hot Pursuit to go Tag Me, which is great. And then you go Tag Me also with cards like Rogue Trading. And then once you have a modicum of tags, and mind you, you can't protect this one. This is not like some of the old decks with like Dummy Box or even like Wireless Net Pavilion. You go Tag Me and you go in with Counter Surveillance. And the idea with Counter Surveillance is that if you access 8 cards and you pay 8 credits because you have 8 tags, you actually gain 8 credits with Zahya, which is fantastic. And then you have 8 more cards in hand because of Obelus, and it all just works really well together. Now, these Tag Me archetypes used to be some of the strongest. There was an entire season back in, I think, 2 years ago, if I'm not mistaken, where Tag Me criminals were winning everything, just like every single Continentals in a row, every single Nationals in a row. There was just like a really big spell of Tag Me criminal. And this was largely due to somebody named Eliza Talking Thunder, who has since been banned for being incredibly strong. A 50 card minimum deck that says whenever you make a successful run in Central, first time, draw 2 cards and take a tag. And you wanted the tag. Normally that tag is going to be like a downside, but it was just so much gas. And then you also played other cards that have since been banned. I think these were banned already at the time, but I might be mistaken. But cards like Mars for Martians just say, oh, you have 12 tags, here's 12 credits for 0. And it was kind of wild on top of a card that needs as many credits as you have tags. So real strong. But this is also a meta choice. Pink is asking, how do you deal with high profile target? Are people not using that anymore? While there are a fair few NBN decks right now, not a lot of them are actually trying to kill you. And Wayland is, I think, less popular than it has been a long time, at least at like super competitive tables or the sort of like, I guess this was OTG, but this showed up at Continentals. And at the Continentals that I think we had the most Tag Me Zahya representation, there was a fair few Waylands. So, I don't know. This doesn't have a strong plan, besides like maybe playing Obelus. And this deck doesn't go incredibly Tag Me. It's not like what's her name that we just talked about, Liza, where you do have to take on tags if you interact. This deck can actually take very few tags. You could consider clearing the tags. I imagine it would be bad, but you can probably vote 2 tags and have more hand size and feel a bit better about it. It's tricky, that's for sure. Yo, I picked up Crossclips and recommendation to play as an initial game for the board game club, and my faculty advisor, the students really dug it. Yo, that's really cool to hear. It's really hard to find here in Canada, I'll be honest. I found a copy for me, and then I bought a second copy as a present. That second copy has showed up first. I don't know where my copy is, but it's like been very difficult to find. I'm a bummed out. We're going to some family tonight, to my partner's family, and we don't have it to bring it because I'm really excited to show it to people who are like, you know, not too heavy into board games, and this is, you know, a really good entry point. Rosenheim says, having a chilled Sunday. Thank you. Bit burned out for Netrunner Standard at the moment, but the things will spice up again with the new ban list in November, I hope. Yeah, Rosen, I kind of feel you. Like, I feel like this is the sort of period where like you really want to shake up or you want to be pushing yourself in a certain direction, because our locals play groups are now like firing up for the first time in like 2 years. I think I'm gonna be playing a bit more startup, which I think is exciting. But yeah, no, I hear you. Do you think you could build a deck around Thunder Art Gallery? Yeah. How long? I think you could. I think it's much harder without Liza because you have to tag yourself. Thunder Art, mind you, was a card that came with Liza that isn't particularly played, but is technically quite interesting. The idea that if you remove a tag hopelessly, clicklessly with something like Citadel Sanctuary, you install a card and also reduces cost by 1. That's generally worth like 2 clicks of efficiency, give or take, which is potentially quite strong. So I think this card is playable. The problem is having yourself to be tagged every turn. Unless you're playing against an NBN, it's actually kind of difficult. So it's a bit hard. Do you remember Andy or Andy Lovell on DB? And he playtested his Liza Goose Code deck well over 120 times? No, I don't think I do. I also don't know what Goose Code means in that. Yo, Jerome, can you share with us your feelings about Nisei statement and the impact on the future of the game? Jerome, what do you mean by the Nisei statement? I don't know what that actually is. Embezzle, HPT, or die. Yeah, Embezzle does work. No slot machine. Yeah, I did rotate. Yo, Parallel, how's it going? Morning. Vizier, also morning. Stream some startup. Yeah, we're going to be doing that maybe even today. But it's something we're going to get into. Sad says MTL event when I need more Fairmount bagels. Yeah, Sads, we're doing something on the 16th, but it's just like a casual. It's not like a structured play. It's just like come to the space we have. I just picked up Marvel Champions. What's up, Dataki? For a change of pace, and it was interesting. It's a little less in depth, but plays like the latter round of an AH LCG where you're trying to fight the big baddie. Yeah, Dataki, I think that's how my experience with Marvel Champions happened. Like, I think there's a lot of really good parts about it that you can pick up and play, that you can play with like Spider-Man, who's always been your bro. But I found it to be, I think I like more what Arkham was delivering in terms of like the campaign and the narrative. And I feel like on your turn you had more choices, and Arkham plays more like an RPG. So I was kind of more into that. Jerome's posting a quote. Okay, cool. Jerome, I don't know what this is about. He's on one of the top decks. He tested 120 plus meat. No, I had no idea, Coppers K. Yo, Tobo, missed you this Thursday. We didn't stream this Thursday, actually. That's why we ended up in this situation. Ooh, Nickelodeon flashback or something. But yeah, glad you made it here at least. I think I have this deck already loaded in, so we're going to jump into it. Just let me find the JNet tab. Uh-oh, I broke it. One sec. Okay, we're good. Yeah, we're good. Counter Surveillance, Zahya. All right, okay. We're good. 15 influence on... Wait, is it just Anarch cards? Yeah, of course it's just Anarch cards. Or tag me. So just to talk about the deck real quick, unless... I guess we went over it a bit. But the idea is that we want to get as many tags as is reasonable. We have a good breaker suite, so even if we don't need the tags, we'll be okay. All our multi-access is attached to a single or two copies, of Counter Surveillance, which is very powerful. If you access 6, that's like really good. You do have to pay 6 credits, but hopefully you make that money back with Zahya, which is a really nice interaction. We have 3 class act to dig. We drop rogue trading and just say trash it if you want. So we want to keep the economic pressure on, so it's difficult for them to trash rogue trading because we can't protect this. And if we get to start a turn with this, we'll take 12 off of it gladly. Otherwise, we have good run events. We have all the good criminal stuff. We want to get down even like an uniced archives will definitely run credit kiting to slam down even like an Amina, obviously, but even a bug alter is fine. Even a class act. It doesn't have to be a program. Yo, Armando, how's it going? First time tuning in live. I enjoy your videos. Oh, cheers. That's very kind. I'm glad you can make it live. We're playing it pretty loose today, so if there's anything y'all like, okay, this is something that needs to be said all the time. But if you're watching and you're in chat, even if you're not in chat, and you have questions or anything like that, please ask. I love talking with y'all. So if you have questions, do shout them out. On top of that, we're just going to be playing whatever today. So if there's a deck list you feel really strongly about, either to get feedback for us to play, let me know. We'll get it out there. Oh, Jerome, we wanted to briefly address the recent events, and last week we wrote a letter to the community. Okay, I guess we can talk about this like really quickly. Twitter, Nisei project. That's backwards. Okay. So Jerome was asking about this thing that this came out. I don't know if y'all saw this. I'm not on Twitter. I didn't even see this until much later. September 23rd, Morgan's the new narrative director. Oh, wow. I thought, Morgan, you already were. But if you're not, that's amazing. Upcoming 21 World Championships. Wait, is there stuff on Nisei that I'm missing? Sorry, we're going to get into a game real soon. Oh, Worlds has dates now? I think they announced those dates. Okay, wait, hold on. Card text updates 1v1, so they just fixed a couple cards. Yeah, they probably just fixed a couple cards that were wrong. So it'll be November 19th to 21st. That's really good. Okay, so Worlds is online this year. So if you want to book some time off to come play, that's fantastic. That is generally a weekend, which is fantastic. But on top of that, if you're watching, it definitely will be streamed. So go check that out. Yeah, official now, it's good. They said unofficially during one of the Intercontinental stream that it would be on the 20th that weekend. So this is really good to get this down locked. We're working on a new standard ban list that will come out the first week in November in time for World Championships. Oh, wow. Okay. So we're not going to have new balance changes until November. So all of October. Bummer. Okay. Okay, but we know that we're gonna get changes. So the worlds, I think it was like a pretty safe bet to say the standard ban list would be changed before Worlds. I don't think there's any way that we wouldn't. Whether we're gonna get that ban Vashron we're talking that everyone's like hoping for, that seems likely. Worlds is gonna be wild. Yeah, so there's two things. We've seen this so many times before where like Worlds has a meta shakeup like a month before Worlds, and then Netrunner DB gets really quiet. Everyone's like testing privately, and that means that like you have a month to basically break the meta and like figure out what the runaway deck is, which is pretty wild. So that's gonna be interesting. So there's gonna be a lot of playtesting in November. That means I reckon there's a chance that October is just gonna be a slower month for Netrunner because competitive testing might just wait till November starts. I don't know. Maybe you still test anything and just assuming that like Vashron's gonna get banned, figure out what to do, stuff like that. It's gonna be released like 2 weeks. Yeah, I guess it's like 3 weeks before Worlds. It depends when it comes in on November, but that's a bit closer than I thought it would be, honestly. I think that's like not the closest it's been, but like that is a bit closer. We've also saw like maybe it was 2 years ago that they even released some new cards before Worlds. They said like here is like 7 cards from the new set that's gonna be coming out after Worlds. I don't know if we're gonna expect that. I don't think there's any reason we should expect that because that was a year where we didn't have a lot of releases. So we'll see. I think this is what you're talking about, Jerome, right? Yeah, okay. So I'm going to talk about this really quickly because I don't know if a lot of you know what this is about. But Nisei tweeted this out a couple days ago. Recently, we wrote a letter to a community member informing them of concerns we had with their behavior. They shared the letter with the community as was their right, and many people have expressed disappointment in Nisei and how they handle this. We hear you. The Nisei team is discussing internally and reviewing the way we handled this. There's not much more to say at this moment, but we hear you. We're listening. We're talking. And I think actually you can see if you click through this, at least I could at some point, that you could actually see the letter that was responded to. I don't know if they unlinked it. Do y'all know what this is about? There's also Jade leaving. What does that mean? So this was largely like Nisei responded to yeah, Whiteblade. Yeah, it is Whiteblade. So Eric, you might know as Whiteblade, has been like a real competitive Netrunner player. We've had him on the channel a couple times. He's a good friend of mine. And he did some stunts recently in the Nisei Intercontinentals tournament in which he played cards that had been unfortunately technically updated to the 1.5 rules wrong. They just had the wrong text on them, and he played them in the tournament and goofed some people over. And Nisei was upset about that. And I know Nisei reached out to them to say like, "Hey, man, this is not cool. We don't like this." And that's fair. Well, that's a thing. But then Nisei also sent him a letter that kind of like went over a bunch of the stuff. I know Eric shared this letter to a lot of people. That went over like a lot of the stuff that has been going on for the last couple of years and like brought up basically aired some grievances. And while I think a lot of the grievances are like very fair and like are very like, oh, you did violate Nisei code of conduct as a stream, like on a stream comms, which is something admittedly I think just about everyone has done to some extent because Nisei has some really strict code of conduct and it's very easy to goof it up. Myself included. Like I've definitely like I don't know if you know about this. Oh, Eternal, excuse me, not Continentals. Thank you, Link. Nisei's really good when it comes to a lot of their comm stuff. Like they have like really strong guidelines. They give you lists of, like words you shouldn't say, ways to not talk about things, stuff like that. And I love that. But admittedly, like I do goof some stuff up. Just to give you a bit of like insight, and this is not like the stuff I think that specifically they were talking about with Eric, is like Nisei says, for instance, don't use words like lame or crazy when you're discussing not people obviously, but like when you're talking about like play states and stuff like that, just because they want a more like inclusive environment and they don't want people using these words that have different connotations that people might not be happy hearing all the time. And I agree with that. I think that's great. Admittedly, I've done that. I've goofed up other stuff on stream before, and I try and own up to it as much as possible. Like goofing up people's pronouns is obviously like a really bad thing. You shouldn't be doing in any setting, let alone like in front of people publicly. So all this stuff is not good if you goof it up. I have no doubt people who are goofing this up are not doing it because they're trying to do it on purpose. It's just it's a strong no beans policy. It's hard when you get excited and you just say crazy because that's crazy, but it's something you shouldn't be doing. That being said, I think I got on a tangent here. Eric, I don't think was perfectly happy with the response from Nisei. He felt like they were dragging up things that they probably should have maybe been talking to him sooner, because it's kind of weird to be like, here's 2 years of your fuck ups, as opposed to maybe bringing them up when they happened. I've no doubt Nisei's been like, it's a difficult thing to do, because I have no doubt there's some frustrations, because Eric is very vocal. And if you read the letter specifically, they were like very good, saying like, hey, the criticism isn't the issue. We value people being able to criticize us publicly or unpublicly. And yeah, I don't have a strong stance on this. Nisei apparently says that the way that they responded to it, they got a lot of feedback that this wasn't the right way to do it. I'm not sure what the right way to do it. I believe if you have an issue, you should talk about it immediately. I think having like 2 years of grievances is a bit weird. It is a weird look. The letter was very formal too, and the letter said like, feel free to share this with as many people as you want, which, you know, Eric clearly did. So I don't know. I'm not really into it to dig into the drama, but like, it's obvious that there was tensions between these two parties, and I think there's a lot of stuff Eric too will admit, like, hey, yeah, that's right, I did fuck up there, that's fine. But yeah, that's basically what this is going on. If you didn't know what this is, I don't think it's too big of a deal. It's very difficult for a big group also to communicate under one thing, because this is like a letter that came out that's like, this letter has been reviewed by so and so and so and so and so and so. Yeah, so it's not really anything to do with just about anyone besides one person, but it's interesting, that's for sure. I read the letters, and it's I think the letter that Eric even responded to is attached to this tweet at some point. You could read it. Anyways, that being said, I'm good friends with Eric, and that being said, he does do some stuff that I definitely would not be doing, but it's up to him to do that. That's fine. Air the grievances that come up, don't wait a year to pile them on. Yeah, parallel, I agree with that. It's kind of weird to be like, here's 2 years of you fucking up, as opposed to be like, oh, well, why didn't you say something then? And yeah, it is what it is. Not a big fan of Nisei vague booking. Either spell everything out or just share it with people already know the drama. I was just confused by the post. Yo, Troids, how's it going? That's actually a really good point. I think that's fair, because then they're like, I don't know, Barbara Streisand's it, where people are like, what are you doing? What are you talking about? What is this? As opposed to just being like, this is what's going on right now, and we should talk about it. I have no doubt they didn't want to bring more attention to this, and this was like, they felt like they needed to say something, and this is how they did it. But yeah, I hear you. It's a bit weird. Anywho, let's play some Netrunner. It's also like we only have the letters and not the whole picture. Yeah, exactly. Like, you're never going to know everything. I've known that they've talked. It's worth knowing that Eric, as we've known before, has been part of playtesting and worked with the standard balance team. They also did recently put out a podcast on the ShadowNet talking about, well, they don't talk about, well, no, they do talk about Netrunner. What was I going to say? No, but Eric like talks about it too on that, not about the letter, but like what he thinks about Netrunner. So you can always check that stuff out if you want to know more about his opinion. Again, you should talk to people that are involved in this if you really want to. I only know so much. We're a runner. I feel like Nisei said sorry are bad, and many were like, but why though? Exactly. Like, I think a lot of people saw that and then had no idea what's going on. Be like, oh, what's this about? What is this about? The episode was recorded before the letter, I think. That sounds right. Well, actually, you can tell what day that was recorded on, because they referenced the election. And the election happened on the 20th here in Canada, which was Monday. Yeah, we had an election. Yeah, that's true. Eric's just constantly in and out of Nisei jail with a delinquent. Hey, he's doing his thing. He's doing his thing. That's for sure. Talking about Netrunner. They had Simon. Okay, they had Simon Moon on what's it, on the ShadowNet. And Simon Moon is, you might know him also as Kenny. He's a competitive player. He runs, or what's the name of it? The podcast where basically he goes through years of old Netrunner and talks about it. Talks about the history of it. It's really good. I like it a lot. What's the name though? I forget the name off the tip of my tongue. Damn. Maybe y'all know. But he came on and they were talking about like, what are some of the best Netrunner players? And there's, I don't know, some of it felt bad. The idea of being like, okay, the peak of competitive Netrunners in 2016. And I agree with that. That was the stance. Like, I agree with that, but that's largely because we had events of a large size on a consistent basis. But then trying to say, like, are there Netrunner players now that were as good as Netrunner players, like, 4 or 5 years ago? And I think their idea was no, there isn't. That it's only downhill from now, which is obviously kind of like a shitty, hard take for people who are playing competitively now. Like, oh, he doesn't hear, it's just feel good to hear. But I do think that back in 2016, it was not easier to prove yourself, but there was more proving grounds of a higher caliber. And back then, we had people that were like winning worlds multiple times in a year in a row. But I still think we see play like that modernly. Comparing apples and oranges, exactly. Sort of. Hey. Whoa, Sarswati, I don't know what's happening anymore. I don't know, you could have elections for choosing a queen. Yeah, we've always been voting for the same queen over and over again, just out of respect, because she's getting quite old at this point, and I don't think she has much else going on, so it's good that she has this at least. Time Traveler's Guide, that's it, Solom, thank you. Communist Music and Cyberpunk or something like that. That one's really good too. Thank you, you too. So Sarswati is generally a trap deck, and while we do have, I'm assuming we don't have exposed cards. Oh, well, YOLO swag. Why did I keep this hand? I should not have kept this hand. I hit the keep button. I did not mean to keep the hit. Keep. Okay. The game was also quite different then and now, and the context surrounding the game was also different. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think it's that different. I really don't think it is that big of a difference. So they say when they install a card from HQ, they can put an advancement on top of it, but they can't score it. So the question is, do we run a card with a single advancement? I'm going to do it. They can't res it, so we're just going to diversion of funds them. I feel like we're too zoomed out. We'll take all their money and then we'll run the trap. And there's no trap that can hit us, barring what's it called? The new Urtica Cipher, if I'm not mistaken. Yo, Solomir. Morning. Can't stay for long, but good to see you well. Yeah, you too. It's a gene splicer. Okay, so we trashed that for 1. That's fine. They spent some money on it. For 0 credits, they can't res too much ice. They res the Jailbreak, which is honestly the one card we really wanted to play here. We probably just want to run HQ here, because if they have something like a snare, we can steal it. The only thing that otherwise hits us is like a Chrysalis. But yeah, this looks like they might just be on 3-point agendas in Gene Splicer. That's a Lacosta grid. Okay, so they want to get a lot of value from this. They're on 3 credits. They can't really res that too soon. I would love to have the Jailbreak there. But we'll gain a credit. You want to steal the snare? We want to trash the snare when they don't have money. We'll steal it too. Can't play Next Corp. I'll be playing on my Switch. I modded it, making a port that works as of now. That's awesome. Yeah, sure. Are you playing with touch controllers or are you playing with a controller? All right, they're on 3 credits, so they still can't threaten snare. We'll draw up. Man, that Jailbreak would have been sick. Bravado doesn't really work here. We can mutual favor to get down a breaker. I think we want to go find not really any of this. We'll run HQ here. We'll trash that for sure. Yeah, why not? And we can go back in again. I don't know what we're trying to build into. I think at this point we'll trash this. No, I don't think so. Controller and touch. Could be perspective. Likely people think that old Netrunner was legendary because the game was still fresh and innovation was more novel. Yeah, maybe Armando, right? Like the evolving meta was definitely an important thing to have to keep on top of, and there's skills associated with that. Drop Docklands. Yeah, you probably should be dropping this first. It pays for itself. But I think one of the biggest things is that like Gen Con tournament was 256 players. Worlds was consistently like 300 players. At the peak of like some of the national regionals were like nearly 100 players. And I think that sort of stage is a really big deal. That there was players that would consistently hit every level of that stage. And obviously the higher the number of players in an event, the less that variance plays into results. Yeah, we should have got this down a year ago. Reverse infection. Okay. We have 1 virus thing. We have an Amakua. That's fine. So we'll just start checking these. Snare is like not the worst. They can't afford it, so that's fine. It's a Maryland. Yeah, we'll just clear the money up. I don't think we have Miss Bones. Yeah, we just want to make sure they don't have any money. Not that we do anymore. But these are now out of the game largely. They only get shuffled back in if they get res. And they got ice on HQ for 4 credits. I don't know what they were worried about, but I think we'll do a boomerang into Bravado at some point. We might even do this. Sandbox is in the list then? I think you're pretty likely that Sandbox is in the list and they'll just start swatting it down. Let alone with Lacosta. They're probably on 4-2s. I don't want to play this and go down to 0 credits. So I think we want to set this up for 5 credits. That we do boomerang into Bravado to get Bravado and Docklands. So we'll just credit, I think, twice here, and the next turn that'll be our play. The decline started when the Quinn stopped doing the Netrunner tips. From then, we had no idea what we were doing. Reverse infection to gain 2. Okay, so we're gonna go for it. And once we see what the ice is, we also can understand what we need to divert or not. In theory, we might take net damage here because there's a lot of 3 ice subs, 3 sub ice, like Sai Santan, I suppose. Nancy would be a nightmare. Oh, it's a toll booth. Oh, that's really bad. Oh, wow. At least they're on 0 credits. That on HQ is going to be annoying, but we couldn't get through this because we couldn't pay 3. So at least now we can run R&D, I suppose. We'll get a credit here. Worlds was important since it got players from all over the world. First price in Nordic Champions was a free ticket for Worlds, including flight from Europe. Yo, how's it going, Fireblaze? Yeah, man. Hansei review. Okay, they're away from that for a bit. Yes, totally. Oh, we didn't use our boomerang, which is good. So we can divert them eventually. If we do this, we get down to 3 credits. Yeah, they're struggling on this without economic ability. Amina gets through this for a lot. We want to get the rogue trading down. It's what we need. Sneak Door Beta also seems really good. I think we're going to drop a single rogue trading. Yeah, well, that was... Now, technically, though, you can say that, but, like, modernly, anybody can play online, right? Like, so the floor should be even... You know, you don't need an airplane ticket or whatever. I'm just going to install this and hit it. If they trash it, I think it's fine for us. We can't hit it again because it's 2 clicks. We could run R&D on 3 credits. We'd have to worry about like Ike, and if we lose our Amina, we're in a really bad spot. So if they click for credits, then we just do for them. I think we just do nothing here and click for credit. We could also, in theory, use the boomerang, but I think we want the boomerang for diversion because we could go and pay 3 C2. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Okay, they're start swatting now. So again, now they're on 0 credits. So they can't res this thing. So the only issue is if we lose the Amina potentially to this, but we can always just run this, right? Like for 1 credit, they can't do too much. At most, we take 3 net damage. So we're just going to run it because they can't res an NGO front. It's an Urtica Cypher, okay. So we did unfortunately lose our Amina and our diversion. So we only have 1 more diversion and we have no Amina. On 1 credit, they could res an Ike. Yeah. I think we just want to get this down and start hammering. I think we can draw 1 so we don't draw to Chrysalis. Diversion or Hot Pursuit? I think it would be the diversion. Because now we see 2 cards and get 2 credits. We probably could have played safer. Okay, that's Nisei. Obviously, that's great. And the Hansei. And we'll gain 2 credits. So we haven't seen an ice yet. We know they have a Lacoste. No, we trashed the Lacoste, didn't we? No, so they have a Lacoste in hand. Now they can fire Snare. So we need to drop once. We could also just diversion them down to 0, which seems fair as well. A diversion will cost us 4 credits and we'll be up at 4 credits. So it's technically free. We want to diversion them now so they don't Hansei out of this hole. We'll draw once because we get a filter draw. It's Hot Pursuit or Sure Gamble. I'll take the gamble. So we'll divert. Continue counter ice. We'll boomerang this. And this will filter our draw. Obelus is a good drop soon. Yeah, Obelus is actually a really good drop because we'd be drawing 2 cards. That's exactly what we need to do. I should have valued that a bit sooner. Yeah, another diversion would have been huge. Okay, now we can go in. We definitely want the Obelus before we're making these runs, but what can you do? Longevity Serum, we'll take it. We're now technically on game point, and then we'll gain 2 credits here. Doof Obelus Sneak seems better. I just wanted to make sure that they didn't... Oh, Doof Obelus, yes. Yes. I think that was better than drawing there. So they can't snare us. We could technically die to Chrysalis. This draws when? I just don't want to die to Chrysalis. It ends. So we'll draw once to not die to Chrysalis. I do like Jailbreak. Maybe the Bravado was better for R&D. I don't know. I don't want a Bravado toll booth for sure. It's cool. It's great value. All right, so we have 1 tag. That's a Hansei, we know, and a Trickle Light. Interesting. That makes sense. They have a lot of traps. So now we'll draw 2 cards and gain 2 credits, which is fantastic. Lucky Charm is not going to matter too much. They haven't really pushed a remote, and we want to install this and gain 12. So I think we're just going to hit Sure Gamble for money. Here they might do credit Hansei. I think it's what we'd expect. They need money to do something. Andre plays around cards that nobody plays, but droids, I hear you, but like that's kind of the thing when you play against like a Saraswati. Like there's so many of these cards I would not have called, and that's the one where we can die out of nowhere, and we're so far ahead that we can afford not to take risks. If we were behind, I'd be like, okay, if we lose on Chrysalis, we lose on Chrysalis. But at this point, I don't think it matters. NGO front down. Another Hansei. Okay. They have 2 cards in archives too. So Hot Pursuit, Docklands Pass, which is unique, and a Sure Gamble. So we'll put the Docklands Pass on bottom. So we could just dump the Rogue Trading, and like if they trashed it, I think we're totally happy with it. Haven't seen any breakers for a while, but we lost both our mutual favors and the Mina. So we have still like Mayfly, Paperclip, Bagalter. Maybe one more. Spending 2 credits on Click to Trash this is a lot. Like they've been just struggling to do anything because their money hasn't been there. It's also worth noting our hand size is 7 at this point. Cheeky one of boom. Yeah, exactly, Soulmare. Our hand size is 7, so even if if we access like a huge trap or take brain damage, like we're generally okay. All right, we'll just keep getting 2 cards, 2 credits, seeing 2 cards. Like it's just so good. Tricholite, Nisei, okay, that's really good. Rogue Trading, Boomerang, Credit Kiting. Our money's pretty good. I don't need the Credit Kiting. And I just want to put down Rogue Tradings because if we get the more tags we get, the more likely we can close the game out with a Counter Surveillance. We've just been holding them down. Like they are struggling to go and do their game plan. It's another Hansei. They're on 17 now, but we're outside of the punitive threat, if that's a thing. And they drew last click, which is unfortunate. Generally don't want to be doing that as much as possible. Tricholite's been there. Another Tricholite. Okay. Makes sense. We'll draw 2. Bagalter, Class Act, Mayfly. Honestly, we don't need the Class Act as much. Our draw's been pretty good. I just want to get the Bagalter down. We can panic the Mayfly out if we need to, but I don't want to show that we have it. What's your best way to message you off stream? Parallel, if you find me on Discord, that works. I'm not really on Slack. Like StimHack Slack. Otherwise, metropolgrid at Gmail works as well. You can also whisper on Twitch. That should work. All right, well, we can hit the Rogue Trading button, and we have 9 hand size. So we have 17 cards left, and we're seeing about 3 of them every turn. So we should find a Counter Surveillance soon enough. And hey, our ride only went so far. Now, if there's a code gate on archives and R&D, it's going to be awkward. We're going to have to like really boomerang things. But like, I just don't see why we wouldn't run this. Like, I think we just put down the Mayfly and run this. Like, I don't think any of this matters. That being said, we don't have to run this. Like, there's very little that will hurt us. It's a news team. Oh, that's a problem. That honestly is a problem because that might mean that they have tag punishment if they're playing news team, which is a card to actively tag people. I don't know. Maybe they just value not having agendas. Okay, what are we doing here? Are we just boomeranging HQ? We know there's 2 Tricholites in HQ, so I think we probably just like run R&D and see how bad it is. I think we're worried a bit about code gates, but if it's like a toll booth, we'll just lose 3. It's a Karuna. Oh, that's fine. That's really good for us. We can break that. Match and fully break. Yeah, it's interesting. I'm scared. Might mean that they're actually trying to kill us, but if we hit a boom, we can trash it. So it's only a single card there. Sure Gamble, a Class Act. I'm going to take the Class Act because last click, we'll trash this one and install this one. Just because we really wanted to find these, and we did now. So on next turn, we can hit Rogue Trading to get 7 tags, install Counter Surveillance, run. Oh, they trashed our Class Act. Okay. But we're not dead, which is what's important. So I think we're just going to go for it. Again, we don't care about running Snare last click because tags, we are tags. And after this, we're going to draw 7 cards. So we're generally pretty safe. We'd have to hit like every snare and then we'd die if we hit every single snare in a row. Oh, no. I have to hit this button. Yeah, I have to click CS. Yeah, thank you. Seems like kill with traps and tagging. I'm interested to know what their tagging is, but so far, obviously, we haven't seen enough. Here goes. And again, we access again 7 credits with Zahya and 7 cards. So we'll pay only 2 for this because we get the refund. Don't run out of cards? Yeah, we're pretty okay with it. The second Counter Surveillance usually ends the game. 7, okay. NGO, yeah, we'll trash that. Magnet, okay. Bacterial, that'll do it. Good game. Oh, I wonder if they're on tag punishment. So they are 52 credits, we're at 79. Do you have any tag punishment? I got real scared after I saw the news team. But yeah, you saw what we did. We did very classic criminal stuff like economic denial, and it's, you know, it's really hard. Well, they should have iced HQ turn 1 for sure, so we can't do the diversion to check remote. Because the only thing I'm worried about is checking like advanced cards with a lot of advancements on it. Hey, respect. We can also see a bunch more cards there, obviously, and it looks like they probably have 2 of these and then a bunch of 2-pointers, is my guess. I don't know if they're on Jumon. Yeah, you too. And you don't see a lot of this ID, and like, I'm not a big fan of it. I think hitting this ID button makes things so much worse, right? Because while you do save a click in theory, you spend a credit to getting click, and you can always click for credit. The idea is that like you can jam a bit more aggressively, but this just seems so comparable to La Costa. And I think one of the worst things is that you can't use this on NGO front because they can't res it if you run it. So maybe they did want to build a remote server. They did look like they have bigger ice and then get stuff into the remote server. But this ability outside of like heavy trap decks, I feel like using this as a way to like get, you know, just tempo in a tempo based game. I don't know. I've never been sold on it. I know people love this thing. You haven't seen a lot of it recently, but like I feel like I'd sooner play Pollinut just to get the free credit. Or Ag Infusion. Yeah, Ag Infusion works more better. More better. It works like it makes the ice good, right? Which is a different thing. Let's do another one. Oh, excuse me. Oh, excellent. I was just going to find. Because we said we play against Copper. So Copper's playing on a Switch right now that they've modded, which is interesting. All right, Asa Group. Honestly, this is meant to be like an okay enough matchup. Now, things like Crisium Grid are an issue because they stop our good run events. Things like Anoetic Void, Monogram, all that stuff is bad for us. But Asa Group can be pretty fast. We have an opening hand. We have an early Hot Pursuit, which is okay. We have an early Rogue Trading and Diversion. Like, this is honestly good enough. Like, we can slam HQ, see what breaker we need, mutual favor, and come back for a diversion. I'll keep this. I wish we had a class act. Even an Obelus is just good. Running R&D, drawing a card, gaining credit's good. Switch Asa, yeah. It's like old tablet Asa, but it's the new one. Love the specs. Oh, Dane, thank you. Appreciate it. Oh, that was a salad. Triggers were fully up. Yeah, it's all motion control based. So it's like install in a new server. You yank it aggressively to the right. Make sure you have your Wiimote straps on. Let's go. Technically, like, is there a web browser and Switch? I'm like excited for my Steam Deck to come in maybe at some point in my lifetime. And then I guess you could just like, I don't know. Mobile JNet seems fun. I'm into it. Is anyone else excited for Steam Deck? I'm like unreasonably excited for Steam Deck, and I own a Switch. All right, so they say the first time they install a card, they may install an additional non-agenda in the root of the server, in the root or protecting that server. Yeah, get progressively to the right. Andre 2021. Uh-oh. How's it going, Rongi? Oh, they credited? They installed. So they didn't use their ability. So the problem is that like a diversion, this could be like a, what's it called? They could res it to duck a bit of the diversion. So we'll see if they ice it up. Mobile JNO would be awesome. You technically can do it. Like somebody won Euro Africa's Continentals last year playing on a tablet. It works. There's a bunch of stuff that's not great. And I don't think the JNet devs like design around that. Oh, they drew last click too. Okay. I'm waiting to see. I've been burned by a Steam controller. Yo, does anyone have an extra Steam controller? My brother has 2 of them. They look amazing. And they're like, obviously they don't make them anymore. So they're really hard to find. I want one because it just is so goofy. I really got the controller that keeps my teasing down. That's such a bummer. Because I think the controller is awesome. What's the problem with it? Just not enough support? I bought a Steam Deck and it was like, am I actually going to use this? That's a good point. I was just excited. I pre-ordered it. There should be hotkeys and arrow controls over JNet. Help accessibility. I actually pitched this at one point to who was I pitching to? Lost Geek, I think? No, not even. It wasn't to Lost Geek. It was to oh, Beans. I'm not sure what his handle is versus his real name. Oh, I'm so close to getting it. I'll get it. What happened? We won? Oh. Oh. Don't think I was a good test run. That's not good. We had a good opening. But I wanted to. Okay, so I have this. Sure. I have one of these, which I bought on a lark, which is dumb. That's another word you're not going to be saying. Excuse me. I bought one of these, and it's like a hand controller that Razer makes, and I use it to play TTS with one hand. I don't know. It's silly, but I wanted to attach this to my hand, like to strap it on, and then be able to play like JNet, like I'm some sort of Minority Report character, I guess. But the problem is I couldn't do it well. Because what you can do is you can set up macros. So at one point, if I hit this button, it'll click on like this X and Y coordinate on the screen. Unfortunately, X and Y coordinates on the screen change based off of when you zoom in or zoom out. So there's no like set place to go. So that was a bummer. Then I tried to do like image recognition because there's a bunch of things that let you do like basic image recognition. Hey, Maddie. Hi. They let you do basic image recognition, but unfortunately that didn't work too well. I'm a runner. What am I doing? Anyways, all parts of it fell apart. The motion control is forcing a reboot. Should I host or should I wait, Copper? Anywho, point being, I asked, is it possible to get this as shortcuts? And they said they'd look into it. Sorry for lots of time. It's no big deal. It's a Sunday. Steam controllers are pretty fiddly fun, but the trackpad thumbstick is very hard to get used to. My brother swears by it. He plays like CSGO against bots casually. That's like his wind down time. And he just absolutely loves it. You can play it. Bummer, man. Hopefully it works next time. But he plays with it, and he says he actually aims better with the Steam controller with the touchpad and a bit of gyro, I think, than he can with the normal controller. Which maybe that just says a bit about his controller skills. But he swears by it, and I believe that guy. I just pulled all the wiring out. One sec. Okay. I don't know. I love it. And maybe this is something because if you used to play Netrunner Online a long time ago, you were playing on something called Octagon. And Octagon had really ridiculous shortcuts. It'd be like press F5 to run R&D, F6 to run HQ. And that felt really cool in the like cyberpunk world of Netrunner. And I kind of miss that. I feel like that's what's happening here. I like the control for the most parts. It's just having to set up differently for most games. Yeah. It's also the sort of thing like my brother's one of those Linux gamers who spends a lot of time tinkering and doesn't mind that it doesn't like work out of the box perfectly or the way that you want it on every game. Okay, we're against PD. It's gonna be pretty fast. We have an opening pass. Credit kiting doesn't really have an install in the hand. Jailbreak is actually not bad for an opening hand. We could do always boomerang into hot pursuit, which is an opening, but I feel like we can mulligan this. This hand is not bad. This hand looks worse. We don't have a lot of money. We honestly might just credit kiting down a class act. Getting down a turtle early is not as important as it used to be. Not only does this deck likely have Hagen, which will eat our turtles, but on top of that, it is not Forma 9. We're having this forces the expose. M on Linux. Okay. So maybe you know the plight. My brother's really excited too because they just announced that like a lot of the Battle Eye and other cheat kind of awareness software are now being ported over to Linux, which is actually one of the big things that prevents people from playing certain games on Linux because they don't do Battle Eye well. So that's also a big deal for the Steam Deck, no doubt. All right, let's do this. Okay, Ice HQ. Always a good start. You don't want to get diversion turn one. Something in server one, something in front of it. I think a lot of times we'll just face check this bad boy, right? Like Gatekeeper's a bit of a blowout here. Drafter doesn't do much. Let's force him to spend some money. I used Lutris to set up my games for me. I'm not sure I know what that is. Oh, there's a Gatekeeper. So that's obviously unfortunate. But luckily for the rest of the game, this will be 0 strength. So that we can come back with just the Yamaku and do okay. Shuffle 2 agendas. So they shuffled nothing. So I honestly want to go HQ here. We can probably drop the turtle and go HQ. Because they can't res, unless there's an advanced assembly line, they can't res a Hagen here. And then we get accesses. It's a Crisium grid. That's a bummer. Gain of credit. Yeah, that's fine. And we could credit kiting down the class act, but then we'd be tagged. If this is a Rashida, it's pretty bad for us. But I think we will do it just so that we have something to do. What card do we want to put on the bottom? Man, they're all really good. I think probably Jailbreak's the worst one. But I don't think they'll be icing up R&D this turn. It really has to be a Rashida for that to be good for them. Let's see. But now we're technically tagged, so the class act could come down. It's a big reason why we run 3 of them. Oh, it's just a spin doctor. So they're gonna have a lot of options. They even did that before they drew, so now they're opening with 9 cards in hand. Because the gatekeeper as well. So 2 credits is the big thing. They really need a lateral growth or a red level clearance here. Because they can't hedge fund, that's for sure. And PD decks don't run advanced assembly lines, do they? I think Asa does. That's a Crisium on HQ if we ever seen one. That's fine. Ish. Maybe we actually should have kept the jailbreak because we could have ran R&D and gained 5 credits so we can play the sure gamble. But I think we'll just drop the rogue trading. Recently, I've seen Lucky Charm used to grade against Skunk Void. Yo, Diogene, I think Lucky Charm's amazing. I think we're going to check this, actually. I think Lucky Charm is really good. And it shows up in this deck, too. So we'll run server 1. I don't know. I don't want this to be Rashida, even if it's like a, what's it called? Tranquility Grid. We don't want them to have that. It's a Rashida. Yeah, that's really important for us to take down. Because again, they're on 3 credits. They can do credit hedge fund. That means they're not going to be contesting our rogue trading. They do run AAL. Do you think they do? All right. So unless it's an AL, they can't res the Crisium. So I'm just going to hit the hot pursuit button. On 2 credits, there's not real ice in the deck that they res on 2 credits. But we're already at 3 tags, right? Like this is becoming a thing. And we also access the upgrade, which is really good for Rashida. Like the fact that we access the upgrade is huge. So we actually got 2 credits there, which is really nice. I think we do want to trash the Crisium at some point. We did not get an Amakuwa counter because we did trash, but we are just hammering. Oh, it's another spin doctor. So we'll get an access here, and we'll access nothing. So we do get counters on Amakuwa. They also just rezzed, or sorry, they just drew. So I'm going to run HQ. We should probably draw first, right? Because we can get something that's a bit better, like the Bravado. Obelus is actually quite nice as well. Because Obelus counts. Each time you successful run, it has to be a successful run. So Crisium will goof it. But if we access the Crisium grid and they don't res it, we actually get the counter. So it's either Obelus or Bravado. I'm going to do the Obelus because we already have enough money. And we'll go HQ because they just drew. So there's very likely to be an agenda here. Oh, wow. That's 2 NGO? Oh, no, Rashida NGO. Ooh. Yeah, they need the money. All right. Let's see where they go from here. We got the 1 card they wanted to install advance to get up to 8 credits. Shouldn't have res turn 1. Yeah, maybe not. Yeah, maybe not. Because they res this, which is now useless. And that's one of the big strengths of Gatekeeper. It's very hard for most criminals to deal with this outside of Boomerang on 6 strength. Like, you can't just have Amakuwa, but now we know what it is. But things are going okay. We get this down now. We run HQ. If they don't res Crisium, we draw 2 cards, gain 2 credits. It's obviously an immense amount of value. And they're not going to res the Crisium here. So that easily could be an agenda. I don't think it's an NGO front. I think we have to go for it. So we're going to drop this. We'll run HQ. But again, this is technically like 3 cards pick 2 because of the filter. They could res the NGO front for the Crisium if it is. It's a Brawn. Good to know. Crisium? No. Yes. Bravado. Bagulter. Docklands Pass. I think we just want to Bravado the remote. We don't have to worry about most of their sentries because we have Amakuwa. So we're just going to Bravado the remote, I think. They might be able to have 5 credits here. Oh, they conceded? Ah, GG. They're at 0, so probably an NGO. It looks like it. But we just trashed one from hand and they were upset about it. So I didn't think they'd have a second unless they top decked it. Corp had 2 credits. Oh, no. But like you see, like this is like played a lot like Criminals did back like 3-4 years ago. That was all about aggression, and then it was run based. Like everything. Thanks for the game. Oh, they left. Everything that we did was like very powerful and pushed us towards our win condition. And you even see like them paying 2 credits and trashing the rogue trading is like it hurt them because they weren't set up. Like dang. I'm getting interested with Stealth Shaper using Moo Safecracker and or Prognostic Q-Loop. Should there be a way to have a good? Could that be a way to have a good Shaper? I think the Stealth Shapers that we've seen before the Continental seasons are already pretty good. I think Moo Safecracker is not going to be a good card any way you slice it. Barring, yeah, it's just not a particularly good card compared to something like Turning Wheel. But Prognostic Q Loop is okay. The issue is that like you have to build a deck that's like mostly programs, or sorry, like what? Hardware and programs, which doesn't exactly line up with what you want to be doing. You want to generally be having a good mix of everything. I just really like the Shaper list, or sorry, the Smoke list that was posted a while ago. Was that a Count Cipher era? It was both before and after. Even after it, it was played like that. All right, the outfit. Okay, this is gonna be a big test because they will kill us if we take on meat damage. So we have to be very careful. We basically have to get, thanks you too. It's really easy to counter Q this deck. But we have to basically not take too many tags, try to win without tags. This matchup is also very difficult because they have a lot of high strength ice. A lot of it does have 3 subroutines. I'm looking mostly at, what's it called? Bulwark. So it's easy for us to get blown out if we hit a Trebuchet or a Bulwark. We'll mulligan as well. Yeah, we can't really take a lot of tags here. If you clear the tag on this, you're paying 2 clicks for an Axis and 5 credits-ish. Reg run-based criminal definitely soars with the yellow-green aren't so great. Purple can't really punch tags, yeah. I think it's a good time to open with Jailbreak. It's 2 credits, 2 cards. 7 credits. Again, if they res a Bulwark here, or not a Bulwark, Trebuchet is not too bad because they have nothing to trash. Digital Rights Management, so they're likely on City Works if they're on this. Yeah, there you go. So we stole one early, which is huge. They're likely on the cards, the next card. So they generally want to play DRM to get this on the table and then advance it heavily, and then either kill us with Neurospike or Punitive Counterstrike. So the fact that we got one of these early is huge. We could consider running HQ here. There's a chance that they actually don't have tag punishment. There is a chance. So I'm going to install this and see what the issue looks like. If they don't trash this, we get a read. We definitely get a strong read if they don't trash this. And we didn't run HQ, so they could play Digital Rights Management and just jam onto the table. But it's a bit suspect because we could always like diversion, hit HQ. And Obelus is also really good against this strat because we have huge hand size. I think they might have meat damage, y'all. They did not trash a rogue trading. They did not trash this. I am scared. I'll draw once. Okay, we'll probably play this. Clear tag. I think we can just like play this. Hit this. No, we don't want to be on 2 tags, right? Yeah, that's a bummer. Incoming triple HPT. Oh my god. Okay, we'll run R&D. We'll clear a tag and we'll class act. We could consider running HQ here to force the issue. It's a sprint. Yeah, it looks like they are on the kill sort of package with Neurospike. And we'll remove a tag, I guess. I don't know if that's right. You okay? They're on 15 government subsidy. Okay. So do we have to worry about hard-hitting news? Honestly, maybe. The problem is like if we clear tags, it's so slow for us. I don't actually know how we're meant to play this matchup. Like we could spend our whole turn gaining 6 + 5, gaining 11, gaining 8. That doesn't seem amazing. But we can definitely float a tag. Too big to fail. We don't want to trash that. It's not very useful for them right now. Gain 13. So we could hit this button and throw out 2 cards. I think we can just install some stuff. We didn't draw here. We probably could draw. I don't know if we want the hot pursuits. Yeah, we'll draw because it's a value draw. Class Act or Amakua. Honestly, Amakua is not amazing. Another Class Act actually is pretty okay. But we'll get rid of the hot pursuits. I'm really scared to float tags. And we don't have a huge game plan against a deck that we don't float a lot of tags. The best thing we can do is like hold Class Act and then like camp the remote, where we have to steal something that does a lot of damage to us, then we draw back up with Class Act. Now Trebuchet is a bit of a scarier face check. It's I think the worst face check we have. They just sprinted, so they can shuffle back agendas, so R&D looks a bit nicer. I think our deck has 2 jailbreaks. And they're really setting up for the remote server because they are just a combo deck usually. And if they're a full combo deck, I don't think they have hard hitting. Docklands pass, sure gamble. Oh man, our money's so limited. Strategy's going all out on Obelus? Kind of. This is what we're scared of. This is a trash program. It's not always possible because high profile targets outscales Obelus pretty easily. But we definitely want an Obelus as soon as possible. Yeah, if they're full combo, they might not have HPT. I just don't want to risk it this soon. Like we can, once they start advancing something, okay. They didn't res, it's a DRM. So now they can't use that, which is actually a better part of the run than anything. 6 hand size makes you safe? Yes, yeah. Or even just a classic makes us safe. Like if they're ever threatening out to score with, score into, what's it called? That Jinteki card we were just talking about, we can just install a classic. So that looks like a bulwark, which if they res, it's fine for us. There's the Obelus. Oh, and a jailbreak too? That's a bummer. Now the problem is as soon as we install the Obelus, like we have to watch out for our Trebuchet, because Trebuchet says trash any card. We also do have a sneak door, which would be quite good. I think we just like hit rogue trading clear. So we spent 3 clicks on 4 credits. That's not amazing, obviously, now that I've thought about it. But now as soon as we install the Begalter, we have to worry about the Trebuchet. Yeah, Neurospike, that's it. Thank you. So not a great situation. Soulmere, enjoy the Vancouver weather. Enjoy the hike. Jealous. I can keep drawing. That's what we need. This is actually pretty good. If we install these two. I'll drop a kiting. It's actually raining. Okay, never mind. Have fun then. So Dawkins Pass was one at the bottom of the deck. We do run 2. There's a DRM. Okay. So this shuffles their deck too. Doesn't matter. So there's a Project Atlas. Okay. That's weird. With 2 counters. So that looks more like a kill deck. They DRM'd for Project Atlas? Alright. This is also the card we want to lose to SDS if we hit it. Border control. Okay. Yeah. And draw. Lucky Charm, mutual favor. Ooh, we can install the Lucky Charm and run server 1. How bad could this be? They want the Neuro Tutor? Yeah, but don't you just play the grid for that? It's a border control? Okay, so that's gonna fire. We could force this. We could force the issue here. Bulwark means they have 4 credits of Lucky Charm fires? Wait, why? Two X ETR subs finally matter? Oh, right, because there's 2 end the runs. Yeah, we can't Lucky Charm through a Bulwark. I see what you mean. So it is an Atlas. Okay. Now they also can play the Too Big to Fail in their hand. I don't know. Now with 2 counters, we can't go tag me. Not even the slightest. There's a sandbox. Okay. So I don't know if it's a punitive list. Mutual favor or Mayfly. I think the Mayfly is probably a bit better. This trashed up the underrun, so we can always contest the remote server if we need to. So if we hit this, we gain 6, we clear tag. It's 3 for 4. Is that better than clicking for credits? It's not that much worse. We can also just keep hitting Sneak Door. And Amaku here, honestly, we've been fine. It's either they gain 10 or we pay 5. But now they could do economic warfare into... I think we trashed this. They haven't given any bad pub yet, and I'm assuming there's hostiles in the list. But Too Big to Fail when they're on 9. That's like, what, 10 credit play? Okay, there's the City Works, and there's a dedication. So there's some advancements on here. And they use an Atlas to get the dedication. So now they can score it out and do that into that. And they can basically score this and then just kill us on the spot with Neurospike. Or they need double Neurospike, so they have 1 Neurospike in hand. So we're going to start by running HQ and see what they have in hand and go for that. It's a border control, okay. Obelus or Jailbreak? We go for the Jailbreak. On 7, they can't res a Bulwark on R&D. So I'm okay jailbreaking here, I think. The other card would have to be exactly the kill card. Class Act saves you a turn. I don't think we have to do it this turn. You're right, it always does save us, but I just don't think we have to do it. This is a Bulwark on R&D, I'm pretty sure, is our read, so we're just going to go in here. Yeah, there you go. Sprint, hedge fund. The ordering there was a bit unfortunate that we didn't gain 2 credits. Get 1 tag for hand size? I don't think it matters. Like the chance of them, they need to have exactly, they're not top decking the card. The border control, the other one has to be the Neurospike, and we've seen HQ a fair bit. So if it's Neurospike in hand into this, yeah, we lose. I just don't think that's that big of a deal for us to play around. We also could like drop the Mayfly and run this. No, that's not gonna work, is it? No, we'll die. This is 8 damage. Yeah, we'll see. It's very unlikely we die here. Yeah, I think they're just gonna score it out and not do anything because now they can fast events out. Like I think we're more worried about Atlas into what's it called, into Audacity. So at this point we can go tag me. We're given permission. We're allowed. Because now we lose just a single Audacity. If they draw an Atlas or they draw the Audacity, they win. And it's likely they only have 1 Audacity and then like obviously 2 more Atlases. So at this point we just have to go ham. And Bulwark is like what, 11 to res, 10 to res? What's Bulwark to res? What's the res cause of Bulwark, 10? I think it's 10. It's not gonna show us, right? Because we access it off of HQ. So they just sprint it, it's 10, okay. So they get 7 after it, so 3 refund, so it's 7 in total. So they sprinted, draw, okay. So here obviously is an issue. Getting a lot of tags doesn't help us specifically this turn, but we need to find either, we need to disrupt the combo, which we can't do, because we need to diversion them twice, which is impossible. So I think we're just gonna go ahead and sneak door beta and then start slamming R&D. We'll sneak door beta to draw and then run R&D. Yo, Tug, how's it going? This is border control, one of the few cards we knew there. Diversion to diversion. So the diversion doesn't change much, right? Because if they have the Audacity in hand. So we just have to slam for singles here. Not much we can do. We can bravado R&D. Gatekeeper? Interesting. How much influence is Gatekeeper? Like 2 or 3? So now we don't really have a play again. If they have that, like we just have to hit the sneak door over and over again. We also could consider running archives. Ooh, wow. They had it. They had it. Yeah, so they were just holding on to it. And look, that was our play. Like we knew if they had one of those cards, we were done. So the only thing we could do is find an agenda in HQ, right? If we saw the Audacity in hand too, then we know like, okay, now we're really in this problem. Oh, cheers. Hey, cheers. That's very kind. Any meat damage? I was sweating on them tags. That was a good game. Not trashing the rogue trading. The perfect crime. It looks like they were just kind of going fast. And I think the Gatekeeper kind of shows you that. Like, that's a pretty aggressive piece of ice. DRM into that combo. It does look like they were on Neurospike, though. Punitive. Thanks again. They had the Atlas, so you could Atlas for the Audacity. No, exactly, yeah. If we saw the Audacity in hand, like, then we can't really stop it. We have to basically just win off a different agenda. But obviously, if we hit the Atlas, they can't win, and we do, so... It is what it is. Checking archives, I don't know. We might have done that last click, but they did sprint twice. I don't think they had to throw out agendas at any point in the game. Okay. 12:20? All right. How y'all doing? How's Sunday? That's a cool deck list of the week. I'm not going to play the other deck list of the week because we'll get to it on Thursday. This is Longy playing this is the deck played by Bridgman at Euro Africa's, which is an Apocalypse. I think the big change to this deck is they stopped playing the singleton of what's it called, of Aesop's Pawn Shop, and started playing Deuces Wild, which is more like good against tag decks. And I think this deck played against like 3 yellow decks, CTMs or whatever at the GNK, which is amazing. So that's a good choice. Otherwise, I don't know. I kind of wanted to just play like good stuff. Like this is an HB PD deck that also Longy played. It plays more Anoetic, 1 less border control. I don't know. These just seem kind of fun. I don't have enough like experience playing good stuff like HB. Just playing like the basic ice is good, upgrades are good. Let's go. obviously a ridiculous agenda suite. Otherwise, like the thing that I want to try this deck also at some point, but this is a startup deck that Crit has been playing, and the suggestions were actually pretty good of how to change it to get the send messages out of here. Admittedly, you'll have to move influence around a wee bit, but this looks like the sort of thing I'd play at a startup. Boom PD is really fun. The problem with Boom PD that like bums me out is like it's such a cheese in the JNet casual lobby, where people play against it like it's normal PD and lose to Boom, and they're like, oh okay, I guess you win. So it's not a feel good. It does not feel good all the time. But it's a really fun deck for the person booming them. Especially if you play like, I don't think people do this, but if you play the versions that do like false lead as well, which is by no means necessary. And we've been also having a lot of fun with Mirror Morph. Mirror Morph is really fun. Okay, I'm gonna do this. Apologies if this is like boring, if y'all haven't seen enough PD recently. But let me know otherwise if there's deck lists that you have you want me to take for a spin, I'll do it. I don't care, I'll do it. Okay, give me 1 second. I'm just gonna update on Keyhole. There's a Hyoubu Institute deck that also was posted on NetDB. Get out. People don't play Hyoubu. Let's take a look at it. It's startup. Okay, that makes more sense. But was there actually a Hyoubu deck? I have never seen a Hyoubu deck in my life. I don't think they're real. I don't see it. Was it posted a long time ago? Oh, okay, I found it. Okay. Last month, Thanos came to me with a fun Restoring Humanity Glacier deck. Trying to score behind Byroid Ice and Analog Void, Hyoubu, Precog Manifold. I enjoyed the deck, but also Tinkering with Ice, Agendas, and Card Draw. For kicks, I also swapped over the Hyoubu Institute because I found I was not leaving face down cards in archives. Card sounds fake. Yeah, Mellow. It does sound a bit suspicious. And that it can be triggered on both players' turns. Okay. This honestly I agree with. Like, this is the problem with, like, I test drew a couple hands of this reversed deck, and I was not leaving cards in archives. It's really hard sometimes, right? Like, Hante review, but you don't have a lot of mass draw in this deck, so it's not like you're at 6 cards a lot of times. You want to install a lot of stuff. It's quite difficult sometimes to even fire this. So maybe you can try a Hyoubu. Hyoubu, mind you, fires. It gains you a credit the first time you reveal a card. So that could be your card. It could be the runner's card. You can also spend a click to reveal a card and gain a credit. So that's technically better than clicking for credits, at least the first time. But in terms of things that we have to reveal, what are we revealing? Whoa, you're revealing Subliminal. Whoa, that's cool. Honestly, kind of cool. Don't love 3 Subliminal in a deck, but that's kind of neat. That's for sure. What else are we revealing? Is there anything else? Obviously, Celebrity Gift. Flower Sermon works. I added Lacosta for Subliminal. Yeah, I think Lacosta looks really nice. But that's it. Like, this is not even running a Slot Machine. And Slot Machine's like one of the best reveal cards. Engram reveals, sure, that's good. But Slot Machine's also a reveal, right? Which is really, really good. I'm surprised. Oh, Saisentan's technically a reveal card. I think you could put a bit more reveals. When Hyoubu came out, Subliminal wasn't legal, and that's actually a fun interaction. I definitely wouldn't play 3 of these. I just don't like having a card that's like very, very dead when you top deck it. But I don't think that's the worst. Engram banned? Oh, no, but this is startup. Engram's not banned in startup. Engram's only banned in constructed. Right? Thankfully, we got lots of other cool Jinteki IDs these past few years. You know, like Sir Swati or whatever the gateway one is called. Yeah, we played against that today. Slot Machine is in startup? Oh, it's not in startup. Excuse me. Slot Machine is a champ deck. Yeah, you're right. It's not. Engram is. Yeah. It was Magnum Opus. Yeah, totally. Maybe Influence. Yeah, no, you can't play it. So Engram Flesh is the best exposed card, if I'm not, a reveal card, if I'm not mistaken. Saisentan's not bad either, but you have to do the damage, which generally doesn't happen with Saisentan. If that's happening, you're winning anyways. We can try this after. Let's just play a PD deck. Apologies if PD is boring. If it's really boring, we'll go do something else after. Let's try this Corpo. Man, I don't know what this black bar that's showing up. If you count the ban of Mati, Jinteki hasn't got a playable ID since what, 1871 with Ag Infusion? Yes and no. Sort of. And I don't know, the conversation always comes up like, what's going to take for Jinteki to be good? And the problem, if you ask me, is Jinteki is like doing 7 different things at the same time. Like their identity is kind of a mess, right? I don't know. Ashes was not good at Jinteki. That's not a good start because at least for startup as well. You're muted? Oh, I see. Ah, I panicked that I muted myself in stream. was like, am I muted? Okay, so we're playing against Cabanessa. If this is an old deck, this actually might be a slower deck on 47 cards. Slower deck, just like pulling out Rizeki's turn 1. And we can go faster than that generally. We're opening with a Gatekeeper, Tranquility. I don't know how good she's going to be at like contesting turn 1. So we could even like, if we top deck a Seamless Launch, like just jam Cyberdeck Sandbox. Clearly build FFG and Nisei is struggling with Jinteki IDs. So it's definitely a systemic issue. It's not only just the IDs, right? It's just like all the cards. It's kind of hard. I'd assume Wu APOC? I don't know. Maybe. I haven't seen that in a minute. What are they? I'm going to do this in a remote. So next turn we can res this, install this, gain a credit, advance this once if we don't draw a Seamless. The deck has 3 Seamless launches. Mind you, we're PD, so when we score, we get a card back, and we have 6 cards in hand if we need to. Yeah, this looks like it's going to be a slower Rizeki build. Yeah, with Rejig. This is exactly like the older Cabanessa decks that would spend a lot of time setting up with the Rizekis, and that was a bigger problem back in the day when the meta was slower. But we're at the point where the meta is so much faster that a lot of like the sports decks are winning on turn 10 easily. And we could actually do that if we draw really well and they don't like do too much. All right, they did trash a Rashid off the top. Assembly lines. So we can't use that to install an agenda. So we will get this in server 1. We will gain 2 credits. We'll advance it once. And unfortunately, we can't use this to install on top of the Tranquility on their turn, which would be great. But on 3 credits, they've used already 1 pseudo stim hack, 1 SMC. I think we'll just put this here for safety. Jinteki feels like it can only be bad purple MP lately, kind of unfortunate. I don't know about that. Just reprint IG and buff it a little and we'll release the hostages, I promise. Yeah, boy, IG. All right, they're going to slow down a bit again. They have a lot of good value over time stuff like Beth and Rizeki. So Creative Commission's nice for sure. We can bring back the Rashida. Maybe we should double advance this instead of installing a card because then we could have brought something back and installed it. So Rashida's in hand. So next turn we can install advanced assembly lines on server 1, gain our card draw or credits, and then on their turn install the Rashida. Is Tranquility Groom only remotes? Yeah, okay, that makes sense. I don't know what their win condition is going to be. It might actually be Hushuk. Oh, never mind, it's Conduit. That's a problem. Because we put all our eyes here. We have to deal with this or we lose. Really quickly. Luckily, purging's not too bad for us. We don't have Jeeves, so it's not like we can purge and do something. We can always shuffle with this as well. Okay, Uncell's perfect. So we're going to put something in server 1. Gain 2 credits. We're going to put this on R&D. And we're going to gain a credit. And then we're going to res this. Maybe we shouldn't res it already, because we're going to use this to install Rashida before the end of their turn. It's a really big issue when the color identity is all over the place. If you go too far, maybe it's too much. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard. Well, they have 3 credits. That's not enough to break the Uncell. That's not enough. They can click through one of the subroutines, but the trash one's going to trash their conduit. They knew what this was, or they have a pretty good idea that this could have been that. So 3 only gets you to strength, so they have to click through 1 subroutine. Oops, Econ, yeah, right? That sounds great, man. I just want to play ganked decks all the time, but people are really upset with the ganked ruling, and I get it. I haven't been on the other end of it yet, luckily, but I get it. All right, so they can click through 1 sub. I'm glad that Uncell turned out stronger than I feared. Yo, the buy rates are really good. Brandon and Uncell are really quite good. Anything that has numbers like that close to Fairchild 3 is good. All right, so we're add a card from Archives or HQ. Okay. Do I actually install this? I don't think so. But they can't steal cards. They're still going to get tokens, which is a problem. But we could consider purging here. I want to keep cards in hand because we're on Anoetic Void. So I'll do this on their turn. We'll gain 2. Our money's not amazing. Admittedly, we're going to draw a lot anyways. If we draw a CVS, they would have fired it anyways. They would have hit it. Do we have CVS in the deck, actually? Yes. So if they hit that, that's obviously huge for us. All right. So the money's a bit gutted. We don't have an agenda to jam, which is a problem. We could always install the Anoetic Void and see what we card draw. I think that's nice. We definitely want Anoetic on the remote. A drafter is good. Stacking Sentries is good. We'll get this on R&D. We can consider purging next turn. Want to install the spin and then just fire it with the on sell? I think you might have been right there. It might have been okay just to get the spin on the table. Yeah, you're right. Quickly installing this is fine. They can't contest it. Yeah, I think that's very, very correct. Shent, how's it going? Of course, FC3 being bricked in the back of the head with a 2x4 help. Oof. All right, they do have a paperclip. They're probably charging the remote. Their spec working to trash it. They have a mystic coming down. Okay. And again, they're getting 2 credits a turn. Plus this is 1 credit a turn. Plus this is a credit a turn. What have you. But we have to purge this or we're going to lose like later on. Luckily we purged for 4, but it's not amazing. Yo, Sengren, you usually want to hold the spin? What are we holding this for, Sengren? How's it going? Are we holding this for Anoetic? Or are we holding it just because we don't need it? Because I want to go faster than this, that's for sure. Because like they're 15 credits. Like Anoetic will hold out unless they're on Polop. But Palangi, Docklands, oh, that's fine. Gatekeeper on 6 is annoying enough. I think we do res this because I don't think we have to protect HQ very much. And Gatekeeper on 6 if it fires is going to be good. Because even if they do Bagulter on 6, it's not great for them. Like they have 6, still like 6 credits to break this. I feel like wasting 1 is fine. You can just let them trash and recur it. Yeah, this deck does have 3. Yeah, they spent a lot of money on that. So they got a Hagen and they got a Spin Doctors. I'll trash that for 2. Cool. So we want to top deck an agenda here, and we did. So we can do install advance, gain 2 or draw a card. Honestly, we need about 10 credits for this. I'll gain 2. We need 5 to score this. I'm going to do advance here. We don't have to, but I want to rather be able to spin a seamless this, get the seamless back, or get the Rashida back. Yeah, we're not cruising. Yeah. Wait, Keyhole says 1. Hold on. Did we not know the list? Oh, we're on 1 Spin Doctor. Oh, wow. Okay, never mind. Never mind. We're not on 3. Second DZ might be a bit greedy, but maybe they need the MU. Do we have Biotic? No. So now this is free. Yeah, 1 spin. Yeah, that's a bit of a bummer. We lost it. Tranquility Home Grid. I don't know if they trash that in hand. No, they probably don't. Hagen. Okay, so I'm assuming we seamless this just so that we're able to install a Rashida in the remote. Or an advanced assembly line in the remote and keep the Rashida. I feel like that's a greedy because they're going to be running HQ. Money's a bit tight. We need to spend 10 cards on that. I'll gain 2. You can still recur with the IND. Koga, yeah. We could have brought the Spin Doctor back, which honestly might have been comparable to the Rashida. Because we're guaranteed value of it. Okay, they're coming in with the Unity. Okay. So honestly, the Brawn here is a bit frustrating for them. If they flush our whole remote, like we're in a worse spot. But they have to deal with 2 barriers in a row, which is going to be kind of difficult. They trash their paperclip, so they can install it back in, but again, that's 4 plus 5. The Hagen isn't a lot of strength, though. Gaining 2 is 2 clicks. Draw 1 is 1 click money, it is. There are 3x seamless in the deck. Yeah, I think you ditch 1 for tempo. Like, if with the Anoetic Void, we can install advanced in a remote server. It's obviously better if we don't need to, but yeah, we have 3 of these. We have a good chance of seeing another one. They could also click through the end of the runs. We may install a piece of ice. We'd install the border control, I reckon. Because we're trying to win off border control. Anoetic. And we do have Mana Garms as well, of course. This is a big one. We haven't shuffled yet. Oh, they're breaking the end runs. Okay. So we get a Fire and Broken Subroutine. We'll go ahead and put this. We don't have to pay the install cost, which is amazing. They can continue into it. If we res this, we go into 3 credits, which isn't a lot, but we basically gain 3 credits if they don't break this. And they can break it for all their money. Thinking. I honestly don't know when to do that. Are your heads blocking a card? Thank you. Thanks for showing that. Actually, that's good. So we res this, we're on 4, we're down to 3 credits. We want to protect the Rashida at all costs. Otherwise, you can res the Hagen. Hagen will be We can't res both of these. I'm gonna res the border control. I feel like we could actually trade a border control for Rashida and not feel too upset about it. Especially because the bronze subroutine is still a thing. It's worth noting that with Anoetic and border control, you have to fire the border control before they start interacting with Anoetic. There's no paid ability window after Anoetic. Oh, it's not me. I have to hit this button. Might be. Yeah, so ideally, like Rashida, obviously we draw a lot. This turn is sort of why it's better to put AAL in there. Yeah, no, I hear you. I didn't think they would challenge this, but I guess they're on game point. They have to respect it. And maybe the fact that we didn't recur the seamless looks like we have a second one, so they really want to do this. But yeah, the AAL here obviously would be like way better for us. So they're going to Palangi. Book-Alter. I will probably give the border control here. Because Palangi is not amazing against Anoetic Void, because you can't do that multiple times. Continue. Just going to ask them here, because if they jack out, we obviously save the border control. Get out of my server. Why did they trash Unity? Because to use Simulchip, you have to trash a card. Wait, did they actually trash the Palangi as well? Oh. Yeah, then they didn't have to. A Unity was pulled with Woo? Nope. I didn't pay too much attention. If it was pulled with Kappa, yeah, you don't want it to be removed from game. Okay, all right. So obviously we have only the 5/3 in hand, which is a bit of a bummer. We have the CVS, which I'm okay just like getting that through with the advanced assembly lines. I think we'll go ahead and install the CVS first, because we can always install an agenda on top of it. We'll draw a card here. Again, we can res this for a credit. We have another Anoetic, which is fine. We don't have the seamless, so we can't really push the food too easily. And we have nothing to install with this. That is annoying. Maybe we did did it wrong there. Take the money. We can have 6 cards in hand. I don't know. Do we? I think we draw last click, which is obviously wrong. Like we should have drawn before. Yeah, especially if we drew before, we might have had a better play there. Droon. But yeah, you don't want to draw last click there. That's embarrassing. We should have planned our turn better. We're at 10. So they gain a card. They're on 9 credits. Again, they're getting like, they have a lot of Mystic Miami values. Oh man. Oh, sure gamble for 7. AL remote, GFI and server, then AL the CVS into the server next turn for 2 extra credits. I think that was likely to be the good play. But now we can do this next turn. What is this? If we res this for 4, yeah, we'll res this. It's 4 strength, so it's 3 credits for them. And then I think we let them trash everything. Or do we Anoetic here? Do we Anoetic here, or do we just let them trash everything? I think we just let them trash everything. And then on our turn, we do install, we do advanced assembly lines, install, because they're not going to trash the Tranquility, right? So then we install the advanced assembly lines, use it to get the Anoetic on top, and we install this advance. Yeah, I think that's... Oh no, we have to do that immediately. Okay, yeah, I think we'll let them trash everything. Especially because the CVS then now will actually be money. And it purges the Palangi, which is also not the worst. Ow, I just kicked the floor really hard. Okay, cool. Anoetic coming down for 1. If they trash that, they can't deal with the Tranquility. If we top deck a Managarm too, it's quite something. All right. So they're going to start the turn on some credits. Oh, that's easier. That is a bit easier. So now we can install this, use that to install Anoetic. No, I think we keep this in hand. We just need cards in hand. So if we install that, we'll down to 5 cards. How much money do we need? We need 3 to score this, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think we're good on money. So we'll take the card. Ugh. Draw, install. Yeah, I think that's fair. But we'll draw off of this as well. Issues is actually kind of tricky for us to fire Anoetic multiple times. Right? Like, admittedly, if they're running this multiple times, having 2 agendas in hand isn't the worst. Ooh, I've had worse. Nice. Diesel, let's go. You know how frustrating it'd be if you try to kill a Cabinessa deck and she has an I've had worse in hand? Oh my god, I'd lose my mind. I got him. Neurospike. What is this? I would absolutely be upset. All right, it looks like they're giving us this one. All right, and we did it. We have a good remote server. We have good enough ice. We have good efficiency. GG. PD is good. And they charged the remote twice when they didn't need to. Obviously, it looked like they had to. But if they were more aggressive, like this sort of like hitting up the Rozekis, I don't think is particularly right in this sort of matchup. I think if they're more aggressive, and obviously like this is good money, but they spent a lot of resources getting this. They basically spent a whole turn, and the game was only about 10 turns. So I honestly don't know if like jamming Rozekis with Cabinets is always good in this sort of matchup. Hey, you too. Hey, catch your end. What's interesting, and we purge obviously for 8 credits. Oh, thank you. We never drew a managram, which would have been great. Can't really say I really knew the matchup, was playing blind. How did it feel? I feel like this is one of the decks is actually quite similar to some of the older decks in the game. It can be quite fast though, and the upgrades can be pretty scary. Managrams we would have loved. After dip, thanks for the surprise morning stream. Yo, Parallel, enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Thanks for dropping by. We're getting a bit of a headache right here, like a pressure headache. What's that about? I haven't had breakfast yet. So we're going to stream for like another hour. Then I'll figure out what food looks like. No void deck, please. Uh-oh. And startup too? Is startup just void decks at this point? We'll do this. After that, there was a deck that was suggested. Oh yeah, we're going to play startup after this. Still fast, still good. I feel quite rushed. Yeah, we were saying that I think like setting up with even with the Rozekis might be considered a bit too slow. All right, opening hand. Luminal. Smoke isn't playing Boomerang, so like there's a chance she's going to struggle to deal with a Hagen on turn 1. Scoring a Luminal early seems quite good. Obviously, we don't have like a Tranquility home grid, no econ. This hand is like on the verge of keepable. Maybe it's not keepable. Void is good in APOC, especially in startup, especially in APOC. Oh, I believe it. Are people not just playing Lucky Charm and like always have a backup plan? I feel like startup is either tags, void, or that one BTL good stuff tag. I don't think tags are like a thing you can do in startup. Like there's no punishment besides psycho. Are they gonna be worse at barriers? They're generally worse at barriers. And this actually could trash something. I don't know. Scoring this is not amazing. We'd need to really score this with a seamless launch for this to be fantastic. Forcing the Hagen. Nothing to trash. Now we're on 2 credits. It's econ tags. Oh, like reality plus, yeah. Yeah, maybe I don't love this opening. In retrospect, I don't love this opening because we can't score this unless we top deck a seamless. This does look a bit like a Tranquility on 9 credits. If they were on 5, we might not have res and let them trash a Tranquility to go down to 1. There's an orb. An orb for your trying times. Yeah, we can't score that. Yeah, it looks like a Tranquility. On 2 credits, I guess you can't really score anything out. You need 3 credits with seamless. So maybe it does look like a 4-2 to Ba. But like, I don't know how they deal with this. Like they have to like hard cast a paperclip and then pay more for it. Like it's gonna be all their money. And the deck usually runs only 1 or 2 SMCs. And if they SMC for it, it's a lot harder. But they got the net recur down, which is obviously very good for them. Okay, we're gonna score this. We have nothing to recur. Oh, this is really bad. I definitely should not have kept this hand. Because we have no trigger here. Ugh. That's so ugly. Yeah, I was not proud of that. Just wasn't proud of that. I guess we'll draw. There we go. We need this to be money. Yeah, right? Yeah, we probably shouldn't have scored that anyways. Because like it's just not a good score pattern. Like if we played a sure gamble, if we recurred or like anything in AAL, it would have been fine. So now, as long as Smoke has a Stealth Breaker to boost, they can run. Boost their Stealth Breaker to get a card draw or put a credit on net recur. So they can check HQ. There you go, after image. Dirty Laundry HQ, this is exactly what you want. So before you access, you want to spend 1 to boost. Oh, you actually can't. Oh, this is a bad one. Never mind, they can't do it. Oh, never, it's 1 plus 2. Never mind. No, you can do it. I saw 2 and I got panicked. I thought it was 2 stealth credits. And the creative commission. Oh my god, they're started so much better. Now the cards like on sale get a lot worse unless you stack 2 in a row. But I don't want to spend 6 when they spend 2 until they have 2 stealth tokens, which is not that hard for them to do. So at this point, we can put something on top of here. I think it would have to be the Anoetic, but that would probably force them to run the remote, and I don't think I want to do that. Oh, this is a really ugly hand. I'll draw once. Okay, that's not good. Do we Chrysium the remote? Just for value? Do we ever Chrysium the remote for value? Because do we need to Chrysium the centrals? I don't think so. I don't think so. We'll Chrysium the remote. Oh, we can't. It's a region. JNet doesn't let us lose a game. I appreciate that, JNet. I really don't like this play. I think this is a terrible play. Yeah, we absolutely goofed this whole game up. I think we should have mulliganed. We shouldn't have scored the agenda. We should have left it. Because we got nothing going on. We just have ice. We have very little economy. Nothing to push in the remote. And they are setting up really well. They have access to SMC. They have their net recur. They're good. But regions? Yeah, so this is a region subtype. Yeah, this is where we're going to lose everything. This is why this was a terrible play. We can come back from this, but it's going to be quite difficult. The question is, how strong is her ability to close the game out? So popping the SMC, probably the paperclip. Oh, it's a Penrose. Wow, coming down. That breaks barriers this turn. So they have to spend 1, 2, 3. Turns out ice is bad despite teaching nothing, old man. Oh no. Now, admittedly, this is going to be a bit expensive for them. And we have another Tranquility. The fact that we have another Tranquility is pretty nice. Anoetic is definitely coming down. Oh, please. Let's see if they trash this. Actually, this is generally worth trashing, and I feel like they seem ahead enough that they could probably get away with this. Going down to 2 is obviously pretty bad, but they're technically on 3 credits with an Emmerker. Should be allowed. Oh, thank you. Usually save the voids till later. Yeah, I know. I was just jamming for economy. Obviously, playing this to gain a credit is a bad play. Okay, that's at least good for us. But we have 2 of them in this list. This list does run 2 voids. Okay, that's what we want, sort of. Sort of. Not entirely, but only sort of. Yeah, with 2 it's more than okay. Yeah, 2 is okay. Like, we only have 1 spin doctor. We can recur this if we need to. But I want to get this down, then to play this, and then hopefully install something on that. I guess I should look at the list. Yeah, you can see it on, what's it called? Okay, if we res the Gatekeeper, they have to pump twice, which they can do. I'm just hoping they don't hit the advanced assembly lines. That's the only bad hit. Hit the Brawn. Not easy ice for them to deal with. To be fair, there's no more fractors on board. The remote looks quite safe now. Yeah, sort of. It's definitely safer here. Memory Diamond. Ooh, to VR-cation 6 hand size. Wait, that's my ability. What do you mean +1 maximum hand size? Hey. All right. Okay, we got a seamless. I'm going to draw once. We want to hit a Rashid or something we can jam into the remote. Not this. We are stabilizing a bit. I should have drawn once more, because now we have to draw last click. I'm just going to click for a credit so we don't commit that line. It's called Pantograph. Build your own PD. It's not exactly Pantograph, but sort of. So let's see what they're doing from here. Now 5 credits, we can throw in reses on some of these. Good, don't show them misplay. No, you got to commit to not doing it. There's the Gauss. Okay, so this is not an amazing factor. The turn it comes down, it's a bit better. And they do not have to boost. So this is the magnet, which is going to just cost them a lot of money. I think we're just going to force them to pay on this. So this is 1 credit. So if we res this, I think we're going to res this just to force them to maybe not have enough money to trash the Tranquility. Feign strength that a lion might go for a different gazelle. I like that expression. Generally at a Netrunner tournament, it is, you know, you got the call of the week. Oh, I'll play a different opponent. Thank you. Now they do still have credits here. They probably want to break both of these. So looks like our Tranquility is safe. So it's either trash the Tranquility or the advanced assembly lines. And honestly, I don't know. They'd have to use their stealth credits to trash the Tranquility, but the advanced assembly lines like threatens Rashida. It's one of the things I miss about Meat Space Netrunner. The bluffs you can pull off are amazing. Yes, they really are. I'm really excited. The 16th in Montreal, we have our first play like event together. Okay, the other economy is a bit bad. A creative commission there would have been sick, but we got away with it. I think we jam a food. I hate this idea. Oh, that's a bit better. We'll jam the food next turn. Yeah, draw first, yeah, for sure. I don't want to jam the food because it does nothing for a board space. Like, we'd much rather spend 1 turn and wait for a 4-2, but if we have to jam this, we will. It lets us recur something. We can spend a single seamless on it. In theory, we can also never advance it for double seamless, which, you know, makes it actually a fair bit cheaper. And not only in terms of credit, but in terms of time. I wonder how bad that play is. Do you ever install this and double seamless it? I think on our board state, we'd consider it and bring back a single seamless. But now also next turn we can install it to gain 2. God, Tranquility's really good. So hoping for a double jam. I don't love the double jam because of Tranquility, but yeah, we could have double jammed there. Yeah, we could have considered it. I think I'm going to try and poke R&D and HQ to make us spend money because I feel like on 5 credits they're good enough. This macrophage is eventually going to be good, I hope. Smoke doesn't have a link. We haven't seen a virus. I don't think there's any viruses in the list. I don't think you can not double seam as a food if you install it. Yeah, unless, well, we could install advance it. But yeah, I hear you. Rizeki? Rizeki ain't a virus. It's just a program. They're questioning whether they want to run server 1. I'd be happy if they did. Be my, they're running server 1. I love this. Hell yeah. They don't have 2 clicks left. Got him. Ah, so good. Magnet. I don't think they're going to have 5 credits. They might actually have 5 credits. It's 1 to break magnet? Oh, no. More than that. They probably run Conduit or Imp. Ooh, I wonder if these decks are running Conduit or Stargate. I think it might be right by the Conduit. Sure. So they will be able to trash the Manic Arm, but they won't be able to trash both. And this, again, is like 8 credits to bring down. So I'm okay with that trade, for better or worse. Okay. Wanna... Okay, we're just gonna do it back because it looks like Ba wanted to take the credits off the overclock. Thank you. It's generally easier than to fix it out because stealth credits are like particularly finicky because they care about where you use them from. There is an overclock for stealth credits. I haven't seen it in a long time. It does have a drawback. Fair, it looks like 1 conduit, 1 turning wheel smoke so far. I haven't seen a smoke with diamonds, so I don't know like if I've seen this list. Cold Read? Cold Read's still a card, right? It's still a thing you can play. All right, they have 4 credits. They literally cannot deal with this. Hell yeah. They just don't have enough money. Because this is 2 clicks they can't do. 5 credits, they're on 4 credits. Because they can use the netmarker credits, but not here. It's kind of fun at Apoc Shaper. Oh yeah, that does sound fun. All right, so they wasted a whole turn on that. Another Rizeki. Okay, that's good. Let's get a good agenda. Beans. Okay, I'm going to do single seamless. We will do single seamless here. We might have even wanted to draw once there before. That is a stealth run event, yeah. I think you get like a max, I think a benefit of 3 stealth credits, if I'm not mistaken. They're just pumping here. Whoa, they didn't pump. I thought they'd pump. I'll do it. Yeah. Got it. Yeah, they wanted to pump here. So they can either get a free card draw or a free credit. There'll be a button for this. You're doing it now. Come on. All right, so they're just doing this to boost because they have to boost during a run for Nemocry. And it's better than clicking for a guide. There's a simul chip that doesn't threaten too much right now. They do have a misdirection, but that's quite okay. All right. So I'm thinking we actually double seamless this to threaten the win. Yeah, I like this. Seamless, seamless, score, add it, a seamless, install this, gain 2. Yeah, I don't think we need a draw. And now we can throw out the win if they don't run this. And they still have to deal with this into Manic-Arm. Do they make as well IA to be able to install the AAL? Maybe. And if they get this, it's like, okay. Luckily, this is going to be 6 strength for the entire run. So this might just slow them down. How's it going, Ed? Not what I was expecting. Oh. Ooh, piss is correct. So I'm glad we didn't res this earlier because 6 strength means that this is actually more stealth credits than they can possibly run this multiple times. Yeah. The good timing. All right, so this card means they have 6 of them in the deck. It's like 12 influence. And that might make sense why they're having extra hand size here. They can run multiple times. Unfortunately, though, 6 strength means they have to boost this twice with stealth credits. So this is 3 to 4 times. And they actually don't want us to draw here because if we draw, we'll have less cards in R&D, which maybe we can die, but maybe we have the agendas there. But yeah, I don't think they can fire more than 3 of these. So let's just see how many they have in hand because they have 13 cards left in their stack. I'm assuming they have 4 in hand. Big? Okay, they're not doing it. I was not expecting that at all. Someone tipped me off in WhatsApp? Oh, really? Oh, no. Okay. Rotom was playing a deck like this at Continentals, right? But I think it wasn't stealth. It was Tau, right? Let's see how many they got. We only have 1 Spin Doctor, so like this can obviously be really bad. But they need 4 agendas. They've got 2 agendas so far. Oh, it's Rotage, excuse me. They reveal 4 copies. Oh, shit. 4 copies. So they can do it again. But they have to play for the event. So like again, that's like a 4 credit run. They could win. Right, because if they play this for 1, they have to boost, break. And they can't let this fire now. The first subroutine is way more impactful because we shuffled the agendas back in. They could have maybe let it fire the first time. Honestly, they probably could have fired it the first time. I think if we had also like a on sell there would be a problem for them because they can't deal with sentries repeatedly. They'd have to like simul chip the after image maybe. So this will be 3 more. That's a Spin Doctor unsubscribe. This deck only has 1. Okay, it looks like we're safe. We only lost 2 agendas, and they have to go pick them up. No Spin Doctor, no Purge. They got it. Halfway there. But again, that's the strength of this agenda suite, is that they need to steal 4 agendas while we generally score out on 3. Good game. We only had 21 credits. Wow. Yeah, for sure. I did not see that coming in the slightest. I wonder why stealth. Like stealth is so weird because stealth has these issues where sometimes it's hard to run multiple times compared to like an Oiler or tried this with Oiler and friends because Oiler breaks for free, right? Like Oiler could have done this so much easily. Maybe they want smoke because it's a 40 card deck and you have card draw, but like this seems difficult. How does it feel to be a villain who does not in fact fear the masses? Oh, it's good. It's fine. I was fearful. Oiling Cyber Trooper is good. I think stealth before. Yeah, I don't think anyone sees the stealth coming. Oh, no way. And this is probably still just a legitimately fine deck without Fear the Masses in it, which is great. Penner's ability to break barriers. Yeah. With so much up for sure. We didn't know what their multi-access was. Oh man, if we Chrysiumed HQ also, that would have been a bummer. But they would have to like run that earlier and then our Gatekeeper would have been bad, so. All right, we threw a bunch of stuff into the server one that we probably didn't need to. Well, like it drew them away from it. And like we made them run the server a lot, which was obviously nice for us. But we needed stuff like that. The Mind's Eye is almost certainly in this deck. Get out. Really? Isn't Mind's Eye on R&D runs? AU too. Dope deck. Okay. All right. I think we're gonna stream for maybe like half an hour more. I haven't had any food yet this morning. I woke up a bit late. So we'll get another game in. I think we're gonna do startup. We're gonna try a startup deck. Were we gonna play this one? Yeah, why not? I think I want to change this. How do we make this a bit better? I don't think I want to run 3 subliminal. Is there anything? Okay, is there anything in? How many cards within the format say reveal? Set. Text. Reveal. Side corp. And then we have to make some bar piping here. Yeah, system gateway, uprising, DF. Okay, here we are. Some low drips from archives if they don't run. Yes, I'm just worried that they're gonna run, right? But no, this is not restoring humanity. This is Hyoubu. So if they don't run, it's only the first time, right? Yeah, so I don't know. I don't have 3. Switch to GameNet Gold Farmer hell. Comment, I know. Okay, what else do we have? I'm gonna do full cards. This is certainly easier to look at. To be honest, you probably make it better by changing ID. Jinteki Startup is hard. I am aware that Jinteki Startup is hard, but like I know we've tried restoring humanity, and I know this is like probably a good restoring humanity list. I believe in this list, but I want to see, like, when I did some test draws for this, I wasn't really firing the ability, and I feel like Hyoubu might just be, you know, obviously 45 cards is a bit different, but I hear you. Also, Chencheling, I like your deck a lot. Okay, I don't want to do. How do I do images only? I want the grid. Yeah, okay. So cards we can play. DRM. Not amazing. Ganked is honestly kind of interesting. I don't think we have the ice for it. I'm of the Lacosta serves a real nice purpose because of 4/2s. I believe it. I believe Lacosta's good. Hyoubu got done dirty because the uncropped art looks so much better. I've never seen it. Do you know where I can find that? Is it on Amelia's page? Otherwise, reveal Konjin doesn't count because anything with a subroutine doesn't count. Or sorry, with a side game doesn't count. Loot box isn't something I'm excited to play. Honestly, we're probably playing just about everything that we want to play. So that only goes so far. Okay, well, we will do copy this in. I'll update it on the other thing as well. So give me 1 second on Keyhole. Okay, we'll do there. Standard illegal. Got it, fixed. Okay, so I'm gonna drop subliminal messaging. I think Lacosta's fine. We're running 1 barrier. I guess there's not a lot of good barriers in the format, is there? I feel like wraparound is actually pretty good in the format. But otherwise, this seems fine. We're running snare, so yeah, this looks fun. I don't know, maybe Flower Sermon is just fun. Predicted Planogram 3 of, I like that because of the card draw. We'll try this. Okay, so the deck list is technically 1 card different, but I'm not gonna update because I'd have to like import this deck list and then update it to Keyhole. So the deck list is 1 card different. Maybe I'm wrong. My brain was actually trying to say that the frame and color of the card make it appearance darker and less jaw dropping. That art is like way darker than I think it should be. It is very dark out there, but I think it's meant to be in a crater, right? On Mars, if I'm not mistaken. But it is like uncharacteristically dark. Okay, we're startup. Let's see how long it takes to find a startup game. If you're not aware what startup is, oh boy, do we have a graphic for you. Startup is the format. We played a bunch of this in the summer or earlier in the summer. Basically, it's a Nisei format where it's just the Nisei stuff. So system gateway, technically the whole system gateway pack, not just the first part. That graphic is technically inaccurate. System update and then ashes, which is a really nice format. It's not a lot of cards, and a lot of them are bangers. Ooh, Reina. Good thing we got money, right? Hey, Morska. Opening hand, we have Ice, we have Anoetic, we have a Nisei, we have an Econ card. I think we'll keep this hand, and we'll just Ice up, and we have to play a bit slow against Reina. There's not too much Ice destruction. Like, we don't have to worry about Hippo. Only slightly bigger, okay. I like Ken startup. I haven't tried that. I like to play a bit slower against Reina. I think we have to worry about En Passant and Run Amok. Okay, that hand got a bit worse a bit quickly. We want the end the run on HQ, I reckon. We'll play this. We'll see if they run. And again, our first ice that we res every turn will be +1. Plus Xanadu means every ice gets +1, so we have to make sure our economy is stable. They're running straight into the magnet, which unfortunately we have to res. Just because we have 2 agendas there and an Anoetic. This is a really, really bad HQ to open up on. Cookbook, Gachapon, okay. They did run. I don't think we have anything here to do besides click for credits, which means we will reveal a random card from the grip or the top of the stack. We'll do the grip first. So we know that there's an Ice Carver in hand, and that's because our ability. And we'll do credit. We need 6 credits to threaten here. And the fact that we know what's in hand actually is very relevant for Saisentan. So if we ever hit Saisentan, we will call resource. They'll die. Hopefully. They got a Fermenter down with Gachapon. Don't they have to remove stuff from the game? Yeah. So they removed a Jailbreak and a Paladin Poemo. So they drew unknown card, Earthrise Hostel for 4 running archives, just to make sure we don't get subliminal. I love to see it. Okay. So we'll reveal their hand first. It's a cookbook as well. We could consider purging the Fermenter, honestly, but we're a bit too late here. We probably should have done that. I didn't realize. How is this at 3 counters? I guess because it came in before they started their turn with cookbook. Yeah, that tracks. So now we have to watch out because the Magda is res. They're definitely playing Botchuli, and that's an issue for us. I think we might have wanted to jam this as well. This is bad. Must be subliminal repulsion to the power level of something else. Now, people do respect it. It's also like restoring humanity. Oh, wow. Okay. I think we're going to call it resource here. Because we know there's a cookbook and a fermenter in a cookbook and a Ice Carver. So there's a chance that this could be lethal. This has a chance to kill them. Oh! I wish it did a 1x1. It'd be so exciting. It did 5 damage. So hold on. A cookbook. So it hit it. So it did a 2nd damage, hit a Mayfly. It was a Gachapon, Ice Carver. Okay, so it was impossible to be lethal there. But they're accessing here. They could have not died to snare. Oh, that's a bad one. We didn't have enough money for snare. Okay, we'll sprint. The econ in this deck looks abysmal. This looks really bad right now. We need to fix this. This is technically an economy card. I'll look at their hand. It's a Simul chip. Okay, again, more Botchula support. I'll put this in server 1. We can't res this, it's fine. Just a lot of murder. Yeah, that was pretty bad. It's like they stole an oboe. Yeah, I know. It's okay. This is fine. It's their oboe. So they're running this. Wow, they have 12 credits. Okay, that's the money we needed. But unfortunately, we have to do like credit, this. And the Simul chip coming down gives them access to, yeah, a Botchulus. So this ice is basically done now. We have to do so much. Like, we're just struggling to hold on by clicking for a credit every turn, and then it's just like flying. Like, it feels so bad. Like, immediately we have Anoetic, but like, we can't Anoetic this hand. It's so expensive. Unless you get another magnet. How many magnets do we have? 3. Okay, never mind. We're fine. And this is, again, another big reason why I don't like 3 subliminal. Like, oh, imagine there was 3 subliminal. What did we see in hand? I know they're going to break it, but we should give them a reason to. Simul chip. Okay, we'll go hardware. If you call the wrong thing, sometimes they'll not break it. They'll almost definitely break it. It's a bit different. It's not Engram Flesh. It's your personal fault, not the IDs, I promise. Ah, okay, we're on game point. I don't think we're winning this one, y'all. I really don't think we're winning this one. Okay. How do we win this one? Now, the battle site is useless because they have access to simulchip fermenter. Let's go find a magnet. Whoa, this deck has a red level clearance? Our hand is so bad. Anoetic R&D, that's not a winning play. If we Anoetic R&D, we have no way of winning scoring on the remote server. Like, we have literally no way of scoring on a remote server. And even the what's it called? The magnet only goes so far. So far, we haven't seen any breakers, but they are an Ice Carver. Ice Carver suggests real breakers. And I reckon they could be on, like, Ute and Adore. Okay. Score Flower keeps R&D safe from single axes. That's an option for sure. I think we'd rather do it. Oh boy. I think we'd rather do it with the Hyoubu. So interesting enough that while we can force them to use the counters here, we I don't want to pay 4 for that. Do I want to pay 4 for that? They can't trash this. I don't think we res this. Maybe I'm daft. Hi, weird cough. Jay, how's it going? Okay, now with Enigma, right? Like, they have to break both of these, but they can definitely do that. So, like, we have to put so much down. Like, we need Anoetic. We need... we have to install both of these, and then we probably need to put another ice in there, and then we can only fire this thing once. Like, maybe we should have res this just to tax out the botulus counters. That's probably fair. Because with Anoetic, it's so important that you tax out the counters. Yeah, maybe that's on me. Okay, that's fine. They have Mayfly in the bin? Get out. They do. Oh, my bad. Okay, well, we'll try this. It's the best we got. I probably should put another ice there, actually. This seems really bad. Palisades only 1 ATR. Shockingly not Eli. Even that, though. I fucked up. I meant to put a second ice here. This is undefensible. I should concede. This was such a bad play. I thought we'd have a click to put a second ice there, which seemed important. But now the Anoetic is useless. We're just giving them a Flower Sermon and we lose. Yeah, we just lost. This was such a bad play. Oh my god. I don't think I've made a play this bad in a long time. What was I thinking? Well, we have to commit to it. Interestingly enough, if they had one fewer counter there, it wouldn't have mattered. They just sound much out of this. Same question, different day. What board game are you playing now? I feel like we played Millennium Blades last night with 4 players. I've never done that before. It was awesome. We just kind of went on tilt from the start of the game, to be honest. Yeah, it wasn't great. It was not good. So they can just run this back. I'm just gonna concede. Good game. Oh, that was brutal. That was awful. We did nothing. We did nothing intelligent besides the Saisantan hit, which we could have won. Yeah, I don't know what we had going for us here. The Hyoubu would have been better than the Anoetic. I think throwing out the second Hoenic. Honestly, this seems good for scoring out a single agenda. Thanks for the game. Love Millennium Blades. Millennium was great. There's nothing like it. It's so cool. It's a game that I've been talking up for a while now, and Maddie and me have only been playing as a 2-player, but to play in front of 4 people, it's definitely very different because there's more like effects that flip cards because there's more choices. I got stomped. I played with Pat in the last play of the last tournament. He flipped a card that was worth like 60 points to me. Taking back, that's all that goes on the record. I definitely could have played that better. I feel like the Ice Suite in this deck is, at least what we've seen is like, it's not great dealing with the Botuluses, barring the fact that we do have 3 magnets. But I think we have a lot of single subroutine ice and Enigma, right? Like I feel like you generally need a lot of things like Ansel and Braun and stuff like that. Have you played Aeon's End? No, I haven't. But I have some idea that it is a Euro game, worker placement game about time travel. All right, we can do this. It's also the shows why I don't love Subliminal. Obviously, it seems really cute, but like on the games that you're losing, oh my god, it's really bad. Quetzal, okay. Well, again, our Palisades, but that's fine. We're mulligan this. Is that better? I don't know. Co-op deck builder boss fights? Oh, Eon's End. Excuse me. What is the one I'm thinking of that's a time traveling thing? I have played Eon's End a long time ago. And it was like a cooperative engine builder, which feels like... it's been a while, so I don't remember it. But like, I like a heck of a lot. I just pulled this off. I shouldn't have done that. I like... Oh man, what's the name of the game I like? What is that other one that is... that you have like 5 elements and it's like a very simple drafting engine builder? Anachrony is the one I'm thinking of. Thank you. Yeah, Millennium Blades is so good. I've never played Concordia. I know it's great. What is the game I'm thinking of? It's like you're playing like wizards or like mages, and then you just have like 5 elements and they have ridiculous names like life, and it's not death, and like, oh man, I really like this game. We played like 20 games of it. We'll figure it out. All right, Quetzal. We kind of have to Ice HQ. I think we're just going to start a bit slow. We'll look at their hand. Do you have a Paladin? Okay. Cordy's maybe the best in weight class nice 90-minute Euro game. Hold on. I'm going to figure out what this game is. 1 second. It's called Res Arcana, and it slaps. It's like a very, very, you fly low to the ground drafting game in which you basically have cards. Like, it's kind of boring to some people, I reckon. But it kind of plays out like, I reckon, the modern Furnace game that just came out plays. Oh, this is cute. This doesn't end the round, but it's cute. Let's draw 3. Play that. So we don't really have ice for remote server yet. Unfortunately, we need an Enigma really bad because the Paladin, well, we actually could get away with it. I do want to ice up R&D to not give them more of these counters. Assuming they're on whatever fixed strength breakers came in system, what's it called? On Cleaver and the other one. What's the other one? I don't even know the other one. Mimic. Okay, don't love this hand. I'll be honest, the red level and planogram are usually ways to spend influence in this deck, are unusual ways. I like the planogram because the burst draw is actually really good if you're on the anoetic plane. The red level clearance is like obviously good. I just don't know if it's like worth 2 influence good. But I'm not like I don't know what else you'd put in startup, but it's been a while since I played startup. Buzzsaw, yeah, thank you. Ugh. Like we'll draw 2. Oh, this is so bad. This is so bad. Do we ever just do a none-ice remote? Like, what do you do with this hand? You could Eli. Yeah, I like Eli. What do you do with this hand? This is not just me. Is this just how the deck goes? Like, what do you do? I don't know what we would do with this hand. Brands on 2, yeah. Like, do we get a click back? And then we just do Hyoubu Lacosta Nisei Mark II and just push without ice and just say YOLO? I think so. I think that's all we have to do. It's just not an ice server. It's just choose a server. Okay. I hope we like gambling. Oh man, that's bad. Ach, how's it going? So basically, anytime they make a run on that server, we have to bet. Why not Void there? I think this is better than Void. Because then we trash our whole hand, and we can't do it too many times. Like, if they Void, they would just gladly run this 3 times. Or even 3 times, yeah, we have to throw a whole hand, lose all the money. This has a chance of working. Void always fails. Right? If there's ice there, then the Void's better, because they have to break through the ice and spend money. For this, it's just like, we're just going to have to gamble. If you fill your deck with cards, they can all be used for Anoetic. Yeah. Yeah, I guess so. It's a good thing about subliminal too, to some extent. But yeah, no, we have to do this. I don't think we can afford the Anoetic. If you ever come to China, I would love to gamble with you in Macau. I'm putting it all on push your luck. Even, let's go. All right, let's see how this works. It's the whole game right here. I'm surprised they drew first click, honestly. Got him. Roll a d6. No. I'm in Scapon's head. Scapon wakes up in the morning, and the first thing they think is like, I think he's going to go 2 again. This is important. Scapon's trying to figure it out. They're drawing again. They're not going for it. They're not going for it. Yo, we got a free Nisei. What? By free, I mean it wasn't free. What is this hand? Is this our game plan? Anoetic, no ice? Damn, we're good and unable to res any of this ice. I hope they don't decide to run HQ. You're one of my favorite Hearthstone streamers. I appreciate it. Okay, that worked. We're 2 games in, and I don't like the way that this deck draws. It might be me. I don't even know how much ice are we running? No. 13. That's not the worst for a 40 card. Oh, we're not a 44 card deck. Oh, it's only 13 ice. I thought we were a 40 card minimum. We're not. We're 13 ice and a 49. This makes more sense. I would definitely rectify that. And also, funny enough, the one Lacosta we added actually has been okay. One turn of Caprice Nisei is fun. It's honestly fun. This card is kind of cute. 13 is way too low for 49 cards. Yeah, I know. I thought that this was a list that had that was on 40 because of, you know, restoring. But yeah, it's not. So this is obviously really bad. Yeah, I think we want 16, 17 minimum. Especially, yeah, because we have so many Anoetics. Like, we want our ice because our ice gets multiplied in value with Anoetic. So popping Gachapon before Axis, there's a chance they got a Conduit here. Maybe an Imp. It's an Imp. We don't have Sandbox in this deck. Why would you not play Sandbox? I guess in this list, the Sermon works with our ability. You need a really good reason not to play Sandbox in Startup, let alone in Standard. In all formats. All right, so we see DZ, we see a Keiko, a Buzzsaw. They removed a Career Fair and a Gacha. Okay. And they did not imp the card they accessed. Whoa, probably hitting HQ here. You really have to YOLO your essentials with this. You win early or don't. Sandbox ban? I honestly don't know, Shen, because as soon as you do Sandbox ban, right, like Amakua gets even stronger. Let alone like one of the best decks in the format is a virus deck. So I don't think it's that easy. Oh, that's why they don't imp this. Ugh, what do we do? I want to be on 5 credits. Okay. What do you got? Corroder. All right. Is this our remote server? Yeah, it's better because I actually have to install the Corroder. Sometimes you get sick of tempo positive 4-2 neutral and doesn't want to try something else. Yeah. Yeah, maybe. Gonna have to go. Good luck and have fun, Pink. Thanks for dropping by. Thanks for the game too. Enjoy your Sunday. So Corroder's really good. The question is whether they respect. We saw Buzzsaw, so we haven't seen what I'm assuming is a Mimic. Career Fair coming down. Liberated counts, that's good money. They like the bug food thing? I don't think that's in Startup. It's definitely not in Startup. So I know they have a program in hand. It's unlikely for them to have multiple programs. I'm going to do it anyways. Sandbox is too good even if it helps counter strong deck. I'm aware, but I think you'd have to print something that replaces it. We're calling program. Oh no. So we only know 1 card in hand if I'm not mistaken. Fire? So if we hit the Corroder, it's okay? Why does this keep happening? Okay, wow, whoa. Okay, just reviewing this. So we hit a Botulus, so the second hit a Corroder, daily cast. Okay, so we actually could have killed there. So the second damage hit the Corroder. If the second damage hit the daily casts, because they actually had 4, what? You had 4? They had 4 programs and didn't die? They got so lucky there. If I'm not mistaken, right? Because we just had to hit the 3 net damage to hit the 3 subroutines. If every single one of these printed subroutines hit a program, they would have died. Whoa. Okay. Well, they flew a bit close to the sun. That's wild. Yeah, if we only didn't hit the daily cast, if the daily cast was hit basically on the secondary subroutine, we would have been fine there. Ouch. Yeah, we could have had that. I think this is the sentry you have to respect. This is the sentry that shows up in every deck in the format. Yeah, now we don't have a play. Whatever, I'd rather put this in the remote. We'll see what the card in hand is. It's a diesel. His top deck. All that net damage for unseen card from ID, I know. Well, they also got an imp in a leech. I can't believe they didn't imp the hedge fund. I can't defend this, but we have so many of them. I need 3 points of agendas. Yeah, complete image only works if you have 3 points of agendas. Honestly, that's like an interesting thing. It's technically the ID that can play this supposedly best, but you still have to like hit the damage. Like you can't pick the card, which obviously was stronger back in the day with Kronos. Complete image is the power fell off a cliff with Kronos rotating. Oh my god. We have to find a minute to purge, which is like the huge bummer. Like we don't have CVS. It's not in the format. What are the cards that actually can deal with viruses in startup? I don't think there's any besides Sandbox, right? Like I think that's also a big issue why Sandbox is strong. It's like the only tempo positive virus card in the format. Am I missing something? Now, if they don't run here, it's such a big difference because we get 2 credits off the subliminal messaging and then we actually can hedge fund and consider jamming to the remote. No, we can't because we can't advance. But like if they don't run here, we will be able to play hedge fund. If they do run here, we will be able to click to 5. Unless we top deck 1 and 32 our next subliminal. They also can easily run HQ. There's nothing threatening on 2 credits. They have an imp and a leech. And we've only scored 1 agenda on turn 6. There's probably another agenda in HQ. So this really has to distract them. If you could design a Jinteki card, what would it be? Well, that's a hard question. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I'd have to think about it. Just some better ice. They definitely do need some better ice, but I know Nisei's not going that direction. Like Nisei wants to bring down the power level of the ice. But having some better ice seems really important because the last time Jinteki was playable on a competitive field, it was playing like a lot of the most efficient, cheap mid-range ice. Things like Engram Flush, things like, oh, Engram Flush is in this deck. That's a good card we haven't seen yet in any of the games. And Slot Machine. Yo, Garrick. It was a sad Friday with that Matchball Grid. It's good to see you streaming you evening time. Yo, I'm sorry about your Friday, but I'm glad you can make it here. Ice or net damage? I don't know if I'm a big fan of cards that just do net damage. I feel like we have enough of those, admittedly, like in a world without an early MP. Yeah, they found the line. This is potentially devastating. And it's actually very devastating too, because now we don't get our subliminal. And they can just keep running back here. We're not rezzing. We can't fire snare. Like going down to low credits is just so bad. And maybe we shouldn't have installed this to plan around. Oh, there's the engram. So the most we can do is like click up to Saisantan threat. So we always hit this button. We know there's a DZ, so we'll just click to 5. But like there's just so many turns where we're just clicking for credits. Feels bad. Bright, how's it going? Good to see you. Hey, welcome. How's Sunday? Bring back Kakugo. I don't know if I'm on that fence. I like there's nothing wrong with having powerful ice, but my problem with Kakugo is specifically also in casual lobbies, not even the competitive stuff, because the competitive stuff is a bit different now that they have they don't have shipment from Tenon and stuff like that. But my problem was in casual lobbies, a lot of times the right thing to do is not run, because if you're going for single accesses, you're actually taking more damage usually than the value of the single access. So a lot of times you would just play casual games where the right thing to do is like click for 4 and wait for them to do something. And I kind of don't like that. I think it's not fun. And I don't think that's a way that Nisei wants to be going. They want their games to be faster. Ooh, we got a subliminal. Wait, why don't we not trigger? First time we reveal a card. I revealed this. Oh. Doesn't fire Hyoubu. Am I missing something? I should have a credit there. Say 4 to res 1 strength doesn't have damage on pass. How do you feel about that? And so far the meta, what's the big bad at the moment? Bright sides. If you want to catch up, check some of the last YouTube videos because we link to VODs of all the Continentals, and that's largely like what's been competitive. Sports metal is like the big thing, and a lot of HB decks right now. But right now, Acme and like really slow Glacier NBN decks have been a thing. What are both big bads? Yeah, Acme Glacier is like the thing right now. Sports Metal is still fantastic. PD is still very fantastic. I don't think there's anything front running on Wayland. I don't think there's anything front running on Jinteki at all. Yeah, well, I'll get to it. The 2 Hyoubu players are gonna be upset. I would start there. On the runner side, anything with Apocalypse is good. 419 has been good. There's like Stealth has been okay. Vacheron's a big bad, yeah. I think Kagugo is fine for Jinteki Stratus and click for 3. Yeah, but a lot of times it is. You've seen how this deck works. I think we want to jam here. So we can play this clicklessly. So we have Anoetic Palisade. They have a Crowder in their bin. So we can do Engram Flush. We just want to make it taxing enough. So we have to do Install Advance. So we have 1 click left. But like, can we do Palisade Anoetic? Yeah, probably. But then we have to throw out a vulnerability audit. Oh my god, this is unfortunate. We do have a Nisei as well. What's the one card we know in their hand? DZ. Okay, that's not a good tempo card for here. They have 15 credits, a lot of money on Liberated. I think drawing it to the breakers seems important. And there's a chance that the deck only runs a single Corroder. Where's their Corroder go? Oh, it's here. All right, the art is different. Palisade versus Quetzal, not good, but Quetzal's only first time a turn, or once per turn, I mean, excuse me. So like the fact that we have Anoetic and Nisei might actually make up for it. Oh, the Boomerang, okay. That's gonna make it a lot harder. What about Spike Wall, Barrier Ice, 3 influence, 6 cost, 5 strength, 1 net damage, draw a card, 1 damage, draw a card, ETR. I think that'd be fine. That seems good. Yeah, I think an improved Wall of Thorns should exist. There's like this weird spot between the unplayed Envelope and the still somewhat played Chiashi. Yeah, okay, so we're really going to have to fight for this Nisei. I think there's a chance we can forfeit it. Interestingly, too, if they use the Boomerang here and we like Anoetic, they'll actually lose it. So they're using Quetzal's ability. That is clever. And they only have 2 clicks, so we can trade a Nisei and Anoetic for another Nisei. I think we do that. I think we do that. Still play Arkham LCG? Yep. We are playing in person tomorrow. We're doing Return to Circle and Done. We have 1 click left. Would you ever do a card tier list? I don't know how that would work. Maybe you have already. I've never done a card tier list. I think we could. There's a lot of cards, so it's difficult. But it's possible. And this should eat the Boomerang. All right, so now we're going to just end the run. So they didn't make a successful run, so the Boomerang doesn't get shuffled back. We can score this. Like, we're struggling so hard. Admittedly, we're on game point now, but we're also on 2 credits, so they could run HQ. I think there's other players. I've seen other players do card tier lists. I don't know. The card tier list thing is like we review the cards. I think it's more nuanced. Card tier list can be pretty quick and dirty. We'll lose the Anoetic, it's fine. Card tier list based solely on lore and smut fanfic, to be clear. I don't think Corpse can win on that one. I don't think Corpse have a tier list then. No, thank you. But they still need to figure out how to deal with the Palisade if they want to deal with it twice with Nisei Mark II. But like, we have so much work. Like, look at their board state. Look at our board state. Admittedly, we did go a bit ham there. We could have like engrammed and pushed a bit slower. But I'm threatened. This is threatening. This has been a problem. Yeah, this is right. And every hit here is pretty good. Spin Doctor, that'll go down. They don't even need to imp that. Now they come back. They get the Celebrity Gift. That gets imped. Actually, maybe not with 2 cards in hand. Objectively, you have more ice than them. Oh, man. They're considering it because they can't imp this. And if they go back, they hit the vulnerability. Like, this is a good agenda for them. And I'm surprised this deck is running vulnerability audit when it doesn't run La Costa. Like, it just doesn't inherently run La Costa. Oh, they found it. Okay. So now they also only need 2 agendas. Like, obviously, food's not in the format. Sure Gamble in hand, which they're not playing. So we know a DZ and a Sure Gamble. You met Keegan Lane. Keegan is seeing a bit of play in competitive. A bit. I'm like not jazzed that Glacier NBN is like a good thing right now. It's not really fun to play against. Maybe that's just me. But I saw his code gates, right? We could win. We could win. So we know I'm going to kip program. I mean, wow, event. This also gains a credit. Wait, did we not gain a credit on the other side, Santan? We needed them to make it. Yeah. Ooh. So they had Sure Gamble hitting appointment, Sure Gamble hitting a boomerang, and that'll do it. Good game. Yo. They need to respect this. Like, we were on 5 credits, and out of the whole format, this is the sentry that kills you. So I think if they have 5 credits, you don't have a sentry breaker, you respect this at all costs, because this is so much of a problem. Like, compare this card to the other one that does 2 damage and lets you jack out. Once that Mimic comes down, so much harder. Yo, Duck, how's it going? Or Duke, maybe. Is it Duke or Duck? Happy Sunday. Especially also because they have like the from the rest of the game, unless we purge. Not that we have any sentries over 3 strength. The leech is a problem. Card lower tier list would be interesting. I love the videos when you break down cards meaning and anoetic. Something I learned from your video. I don't even know if I'm saying anoetic right, I'll be honest. Thanks for the game. Nailed it. Live by Science on Time, Mercy, die by Science on Time. Yeah, okay, it's Duck. Thank you. Yeah, no, this feels exactly like Anansi in the standard format. That you just have to like respect this, because this can win games out of nowhere. And I think if they did not hit this, we had a good chance of not winning. Oh, never mind. We have Hyoubu. We can always cheese a win out with Hyoubu. Admittedly, like, we need to score the 4-3. We have to score 2 more agendas, but that's how these sort of decks work. Flatline 3 people yesterday with Saisantan or something a bit more like cool stuff. Yo, good games, Kapan. Or something a bit. 2 Chiashis and an Anansi. Oh, man. Yo, bring your ganks back out. Playing ganked again. Let's go. On a scale of 1 to 10, how does everyone feel about ganked decks? Because there's a chance that this channel will like very, very slowly, like boiling frog, kind of become just a ganked channel. Ganked plus ag infusion. Yeah, no one's gonna respect that. That's gonna just ruin everyone. You make this deck IRL? Oh, the Quetzal one? I like the Quetzal deck. Ganked beans. I take everything back. Jinteki's good, Murder's good, the game's good again. Yo, Jinteki, it's doing okay. It's, yeah, I don't know. I made a ganked influence tags deck recently. Infinite tags deck. Oh yeah, using the on and counter card, the attitude, not an attitude adjustment, the one with the Walkman. I never know. I think that was really fun. I think that's a cool idea. The infinite tags is a fun idea. And then you just, I guess, psycho them. You can just kill them, right? Eavesdropping. That's it. Yeah, that's it. That's the name. Do you think Netrunner has any value as a view on modern society? Yeah, of course it does. And it's cyberpunk. I think that's a big part of cyberpunk, is meant to be like just like a lot of science fiction is meant to be an exploration of, you know, ethical dilemmas in the abstract, where things are, you know, not kept in check and maybe things aren't questioned. And again, the boiling frog, we end up in the sort of, you know, late stage capitalist neoliberal future thing. I think there's a lot. Gonna publish this soon because I want to start championship. Ooh, wow. Okay, Regolith Quest. So it's Sandbox, GFI, Nisei, and Obakadis. So not a lot of agendas, only 8. You got Chiashis, Vanillas, Tracker, Macrophage, Magnetum, Briganansi. Looks like a good suite. You're in Divert Power, which I don't know if this card's ever necessary in any list, but I get it. It's an econ card. I just don't. Oh, actually, no. Okay, hold on. In Egg Infusion, you want your ice res. So that actually is good. The problem I have with this card a lot of times is you're resing your meanest ice, and then they see it, which is kind of obnoxious. And Regolith is honestly, I think, a fine card. You put this in the remote, it's good. Yeah, it works in Egg Infusion specifically. I believe that. I thought about it for a second. I was like, yeah, no, that's actually good. This seems fun for someone. Gotta speed through your money, not wait 5 turns. I do agree that Regolith is better than Quest. Yes, I like Regolith a fair bit. I'd rather get this done than have to wait multiple turns and playing that like Acme sort of like click for credit. I'll wait. And this is also a card that if they get into, they have to actually pay 3 to trash, which is nice. You can recharge Regolith. Oh, dang, that's cute. That's really cute. Recharging Spin Doctor also obviously very cute. And is there anything else? I guess you can recharge Magnet. There's actually a couple like good plays with Divert Power. And Vanilla, you don't care, right? Especially vanilla is actually worth derezzing because of the ag infusion ability. Oh man, the deferred power looks nice. I'm into this. Andrea loves bringing up boing frogs today. I'm hungry. I don't eat frogs. Please don't eat frogs. I guess eat frogs. I don't care. No, don't eat frogs. I'm reading Start a World of Androids. Makes you think about automation jobs and corp power over governments. I have the book. I haven't read all of it. That's like the big one, right? Recharging Spin Doctor, build your own Jackson. Cost 2. 1 influence. Yo, this is cool. Publish this. I'll definitely give you that upvote. I'd be down to play this for sure. Today though, we've been streaming since about 11 and it's almost 2. And I haven't had any food yet. So I think I'm gonna bounce out and get some food. Sorry that we can stream on Thursdays. To some extent, this actually works out better streaming on Sunday. So a lot of people can make it, which is nice. Weekends, Europe. That all lines up really well. My color balance is weird and my face is pink, but that's just about it. Yo, Vesper, how's it going? I think that's gonna be it for today. So I'm gonna go find some food and then enjoy the rest of the Sunday. Hopefully you're having a good weekend as well. We'll be back on Thursday at a regular time. I think the weekend after that we should be joined by Pat too, which is really exciting, or the week after that, excuse me. But that's largely it. Everyone who's hanging out here in chat, hopefully you're doing well. For those watching on the VOD, how's it going? And everyone who played games again today, also good games. It's a global food initiative. That should be it. I definitely want to play this deck when we get back, so hopefully that gets published. But take care, y'all. Ciao.